YouTube members, g'day Patreon members. How you all going this fine Valentine's Day? If that's what you celebrate, if not, I hope you're having a fine Saturday. Or if you're over here in Australia, a nice Sunday. It's where am I? We're currently at 9:30 Sunday morning here. Okay, we had a very cloudy, foggy day today, and we decided to take up and have a go anyway. And the raw images looked a bit disappointing, but after they've been through the photo software, they seem to have come up quite well. So as we can see, some of the images will still be a little foggy here and there, but we still have some good images of all the sites around Starbase. Okay, still my first cup of tea here, so just give me a sec.
And you mean after they were put through the magic of Mauricio, right?
Absolutely, and his new computer, he got it done in record time today. The amount of work that had to get done on the images today and the time that he got them done was just incredible. So that's all thanks to the generosity of this community that helped get the new hardware for him. So, what's going on up here? We have squeezy arms. Oh, they're about level with that bar. Okay. So for now, it's hard to tell, but they're suspended up here off one of these arms. Um, I'm thinking there's more than just that train. Maybe they are attached here as well.
I think from ground photos I've seen, they don't seem to actually be attached to those arms on the side.
So they just balance. It doesn't seem like that's not the balancing point. Something's holding them on that. Oh, there's I see. I see
Yeah.
what's going on. There's a third sling. I get it. It's a tripod sling, however you wanna call that. Gotcha. And of course, they'll, bridge the gap here with the cables and hydraulic rams. So there's definitely the first test going on. So that accounts for that arm. See that one, not the black one, the grey one up there looks like it's attached to. So we still got to account for that arm. So where is this? So that's about up like what someone was saying the other week. I think it might have been Crane Man or Methane Man, but that's where the flaps roughly go, I think.
No, I think those little black baskets there, it seems like they may actually have something to do with the catch pins on the nose cone.
With the which pin, sorry?
The catch pins on the nose cone.
The catch pins. Would the catch pins be down here?
There's a hydraulic cylinder and a T frame on in that bus, and those, you know,
Ah, okay.
Maybe
not
those
not
baskets are to reach the straps that secure the flaps.
Try this image. But it's not quite enough pixels. I guess that's all they need is that. I was imagining like in the last test, we saw the beam going across the top of the test tank, and then two sets of straps come down to hold this up. I was sort of imagining something like that here, but I didn't sort of think that they'd just do it on a triangle slings.
Well, those slings aren't permanent, right? They're just there's come-alongs hanging there, right?
No, I'd
Yeah,
say
probably,
that's how the
probably. Yeah,
sorry.
I'll be able to do it.
Well, they're the same on the when they had them on the booster test tank. They're the same, just come alongs on slings hanging down from the top. Was quite temporary looking. I reckon that's what's going on. Still not sure about all the rest of the attachment points up here and the other set of triangles up in here, but I guess we'll soon see. So at Sanchez, we can see something to do with this, which is interesting too. This new development, Sanchez, to do with, I'd say, to do pretty confident to do with this whole testing regime.
there is a there's a label on one of the control boxes up on top of that frame, and it reads ship flap actuator. So these 6 points could be something to do with the flaps, all 4
The
flaps
aft
maybe,
flaps.
forward and aft.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're getting. We were talking about it the other day, and maybe they're seeing resonating, or maybe they're seeing shaking in the flaps they don't like, so they need to maybe hold them while they're firing, or swing something in to grab them. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know what ship flap actuator would imply.
My assumption is
No.
it's an actuator they're going to attach to the flap and do something with it. That's about the size of it.
Now, would you be testing the motors, or would you just be testing the actual flap themselves?
All of
There's
it.
a redesign, and we noticed there's a redesign in the actuators of the ship's flaps. I'm not sure the top ones. I'm pretty sure
That's
we've
the aft
seen
flap.
the aft flap.
Agreed.
So maybe
Yeah.
they've changed the forward flap too.
Possibly.
I was gonna say, if they've got stuff at the top there for forward flaps, then probably the brackets down the bottom are to do with the aft flaps, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's three.
Right.
There's 3 points up the top, and there's 3 points each side. So, like, each flap's got 3 points to have something connect to it.
So rather than testing the docking mechanism, more about testing the new flap actuators, because
Yeah.
version 3 is probably built lighter. I mean, that's one of the things Elon was aiming for and moving forward, was getting, so removing weight. So maybe with the new ship flap actuators, they've reduced weight somehow, and they haven't had to test in the past because, like I think Ryan said a few times, they were able to overbuild originally, and it wasn't an issue. Now they're starting to cut weight. They got to start testing that some of their weight cutting measures haven't gone that 10% too far that Elon talks about. Because they've removed a little bit too much. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, so from ground photos and other images, we've been getting a little bit of labeling, which is cool. A squeeze test and flap
I think
testing. Okay.
I think we'll find out the whole thing in what? Give it maybe a week or two. I'm thinking
Yeah.
at this
Agree.
rate. They're based off what they're doing with that static fire stand. I think 39 is going to be headed out to here for thrust sim testing at the static fire stand because they're too busy. They're so busy with 39.1. So
I suppose I could segue over there actually because it's very much on topic. So rather than putting everyone in suspense, over at Sanchez.
Oh, I'll let you talk about it first.
Over at Sanchez, yeah, they welded that, which many of us sort of thought that might happen, that they were going to weld that three spoke piece into this static fire stand. Look, they've even got the plates ready for the clamps and everything.
yeah,
You can see the
yeah.
actuator mounts for the thrust puck chucking. Oh, words today, I tell you.
all 6, 3 for the RVAX, 3 for the centers. They're set up to thrust sim on the static fire stand because they're so busy with 39.1. I am wondering if this is a part of me wonders if this was their plan all along.
It is. I did it pretty much. I mean, like Ryan Hansen.
No longer use the cryo station at all.
Well,
And only use this.
Look at Ryan Hansen's been saying quite a while ago. It's been very clear that they plan to send the ship to this pad
Yeah.
first.
Well,
This has been the plan for a while.
No, I mean overall, not just 39.
Uh,
My point is, if
maybe.
they're really doing that, I wonder if that ship cryo stand is ever get used again, at least for
That's
ships. Because you just built a second static fire stand, but you've built it for thrust sim testing, not for static fire testing. That's not built for static fire testing at all. Now, I mean, I know you built a they did build a they build a work platform for that thing at all? I don't think they did. Not for that
no,
one.
not yet.
No.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I think their plan is to use only this station for everything now. I think that's their plan. I think that's been their plan all along. And the
Maybe
reason why
both. I mean,
39 hasn't been out there is because they literally didn't have a stand to use it with.
maybe when the cadence picks up, though, yeah, I'm not. I get what you're saying, and I agree to some extent, but I wouldn't rule out that they're not going to use the ship cryo station ever again. Um, I mean, especially even for test tanks, but moving forward with the cadence, I'm not sure whether they'll be able to only use. I mean, maybe because whether they need base stands like or not. I mean, because the ship's not here for very long, really, is it? When they um, do the cryos test or when they do the static fire test, it's only a day or two, isn't it?
The 3 day it roll out roll out ambient to cryo, so usually it's about 3 or 3 days, 3 to 4, depending, because
But
they do cryos back to back, and they might do an ambient the night after it gets there. So, and then roll it back the next night, so you have 4. Um, I mean, they might end up using that cryo stand later down the line. Um, but basically they'll have to modify that for Block 3 once they're done with it. Which I mean, it's not that hard for them to do. They've been modifying these stands all the livelong day. It's just that
Yeah.
the fact that they built a static fire stand, which we thought was going to be for static fires, but it's been built out not at all for static fires, but for thrust sims, tells me that I wonder if that thing's ever going to be used for static fires. Because when you think about it, they they don't need another static fire stand, not anytime soon, anyways. Like they're not like
Yeah, it's not that quick a cadence. That cadence isn't
no
that fast.
they do not have that they don't have the construction cadence right now. The only time they'll get that construction cadence is when Giga Bay is fully operational, and we're talking years and ahead at this rate for that. And even then, you're you that would be static firing a ship every 5 or 6 days. So you could be static firing a ship twice a week with the stand and everything. Not even, because if you're rolling it out to do a single 6 engine, you roll it out one night, you set it up during that day, you static fire it either that day or the next, and then you roll it back. So yeah, you can do 2 to 3 static fires a week with 2 to 3 different ships. That's a pretty high cadence. And for right now for Boca, you don't need that. You don't even remotely need that cadence because you can't fly that much out of Boca, anyways. Not right now, anyways. Not for
yeah,
years.
Now,
I
So
if it
don't.
were
it just
me,
makes more sense in the long run.
I was gonna say, if it were me, I would have come up or tried to figure out a way to incorporate the thrust piece or the part that the thrust sits or rams sit on into or as an attachment to that service platform that they have, so that you could put that on for the puck shucking and then lower that, take it off, and then have your regular service platform if you need to do maintenance or whatever. Serve both as your cry or your thrust puck stand and a static fire stand. But
The only
Cool.
thing I get what he's saying, Ryan. Maybe this stand ended up going to Florida for static fires, but yeah, I think you're right. In the short term, for sure, they seriously don't need um, 2 static fire stands, and they don't need 2 cryo stations either. So we may very well see in the near, you know, over the next even year or two, like you say, them not using the ship cryo station so much and using this stand. And the only thing this stand hasn't got so far is the rams are pushed side to side, but that's not saying they can't put them on still later. But maybe they don't need that anymore. Now they've tested that on the test article. Maybe they don't need to do that test on the ships
The,
necessarily each time.
the biggest thing to thrust sim is you're taking all 6 engines worth, which eventually the funny thing is this is a very easy modification. You stick 3 more bars in and another 3 actuators in, and boom, there you go. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to modify the other one either, but still, that's a pretty easy modification for this. Um, but you just stick the actuators on, and all you're doing is you're trying to make sure that the dome weld is good. Basically,
Yeah.
is what you're trying to
Yeah.
do on a ship, and that's all they're really doing. Eventually, they will be confident enough that they won't do it, and they'll go to the way of Falcon 9, and um they'll put the engines on, and they'll roll it out to the static fire stand. They'll do a cryo with it just to clean the tanks, verify the integrity of the tanks, and then they'll load it up, static fire it, and then they'll process it for launch like they do with Falcon 9. I think that's the way they're heading, and the fact that they can load LN2 at this makes sense. So I didn't expect them to make a stand to thrust sim it here. I did not expect that to happen, but here we are.
Can they use LN2 I mean, sorry, is liquid nitrogen, is that available here at this I
It
didn't
is.
think it was. It is,
It's
okay.
available. It's available. Me and Alex looked at one point, and I think Event Dudes in the Patreon lounge showed it. There's LN2 lines that get routed to here, so they can use it at the static fire stand. Yeah.
And they've gotta do that, well, they temper, what do they call it when they do the steel? They gotta chill the steel down to make it change its molecules too.
There's also
I
nothing
mean,
saying that they can't redo the QD stand either to allow that stand, the new stand, to go at the old station either. Which
they
no
could
one's
do
saying.
that too. Yeah, they could redo the ship cryo station to allow for that static fire stand to work there. That's not that hard to do. Um,
Of course, it won't
it
work
just
with the old one.
no, no. That's the other thing is if they want to keep using that little one, they need to keep that stand the way it is now. But if they want to say use the static fire stand, they'd have to pop that QD up more, and of course make embeds for hooking in the static fire stand there. It wouldn't be that hard to do it. It's just you wouldn't if you did it for the static fire stand thrust sim, you wouldn't or I say the new thrust sim stand, I'll call it that. Um, they'll they won't be able to use that one unless they had 2 QD levels, which is kind of pointless. Um,
I wonder how long the hardware for that second stand's been around. Because if you notice, the new thrust sim static fire stand does not have the structure is not adjusted for the new clamp spacing. It's identical to the first one. Instead of adjusting the little bump outs for where the clamps currently sit.
That's a good point.
Or they
On this
said screw it, we'll just modify. We'll build it as modified on the first one.
oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, that is funny. My guess is they ordered 2 way back when, and then after they modify the ship clamp thing, they're just like, ah, whatever. We'll just put it on because you can see how you can see the bump out offset. That is funny. Yeah.
that took way too long to work out what you were saying then, but yeah, these bump outs, yep.
Yeah.
So
It's
those 2 are right.
did
But
they?
yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that whole interface is the same as the other static cars. The other thing that's not done is they don't have a walkway around it yet. They don't have the actuators up. But do we see any actuators sitting around? Actually,
Well, we'll, maybe come back to that because we haven't finished Massey's yet.
Hmm.
But I just thought I'd go over to that stand because we happen to be talking about this. So that's just tied in with this stand. So we'll go back to that stand in a minute. There's not really that much to go through at Massey's. Good to see these in place. And yeah, so perhaps, well, that's not a good image. Perhaps some ship actuated, flap actuated testing as well.
I have this feeling that Ship 39, when it rolls out for this cryo testing campaign, it's going to be out there for probably like a week and a half. Booster 19 was out there for a week. I think 39 is going to be out there for like a week and a half with all the extra testing they want to do, maybe even 2 weeks. It'll be out there for a bit, but installing R3s should be a little bit easier this time without all the shielding. I think that they'll still need a false ceiling though, because of hot staging. So I guess that still has to go in, and then it shouldn't take too long for them to do that. Maybe 2-3 weeks, depending. So maybe ship static fire, assuming 39 gets out here in like a week and a half, because they seem relatively close to being able to do that. Uh, ship static fire mid to late March, and then they
Yeah,
got
the
to
weeks
stack
is
it and do a wet dress rehearsal with the full stack. I think 19 will be out the pad in a couple of weeks. Still,
the weeks is slipping by, week by week. The weeks are slipping by. Especially like we haven't seen 39 out here at all yet. Like you said, and still got to do this test and go back and do the static fire. It's going to be another few weeks at least for that.
yeah,
Yeah. Like you said, definitely not a March launch anyway.
I kind of doubt a March launch.
Yeah,
So
water
we have a
deluge is offline right now, even with the heat
Yeah.
exchangers gone. Sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
that question or comment or donation there, Indy.
That's okay. We do have a question in
Um,
chat, and then we also got a gift membership. So whenever you're ready.
sure.
So we want to thank
Wait, yeah.
Wilbo Baggins for the 1 gift membership that they just donated. Thank you so much, Wilbo. And then Darth Mack has a question, and they're asking, what kind of stand is B18.1 sitting on right now?
Oh, that's the old booster cryo stand, the old one. I'll
yeah.
go over there in a second. BJ, these may be plated off. I guess they could run a system on just 3 tanks, but there's also something going on up in here as well. Perhaps that might have something to do with this new tank, perhaps too. There seems to be something going on in this tank farm. I'm wondering if they've changed the way the system gets kick-started or something.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they'd ever switch over to the method that they're using at Pad 2.
I haven't seen
Oh, with
any
the
gas generators show up, but I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do it. They would just have to, install it all. But you know,
they'd have to redo the manifolds a little bit, but not much. Block all this off, maybe put a link in
it,
here and
Yeah,
if they were
they are.
gonna do that, oh, sorry, go ahead, BJ.
Yeah, they are capped off. We didn't even notice it. They were that one was removed and the ports were capped off last week already.
yeah, yeah, we
Oh,
noticed. We
so it
put it.
is.
That was in our
Yeah,
script. This
I
we
didn't
did
QC
notice that.
Matthews and I didn't even notice it.
We wrote about it in our last script in the video that was just released this week.
Tells you how busy I was with the Gigabay episode and didn't QC a bunch of the non parts that I didn't write.
I know. I missed you. I missed you in the QC room. I'm like, I did this all on my own. I hope I get it right. We did it right.
If
I didn't.
let's say if they were gonna do a gas generator changeover, they probably would have done it with the 9-month stand down they've had on this thing.
Yeah.
I would think
Um,
so.
yeah, if they hadn't done it then, they're not gonna do it now.
Or at least they'll wait till there's another big lull in the
Which
program.
Yeah, but
there's
you say that sort of thing like they do it
true.
straight away. But look what happened with the Pad 2 chopsticks. They sat there for ages in that one configuration, and then months later they were changed.
Granted, it was still in a lull. They didn't have anything to put on it, so they had the time to do it. My point
Yeah.
is that if they change over this now, when they're getting ready to wanting to possibly static fire Ship 39 within the next month, they won't have their whole plan, this is their plan, that they don't have another lull like this ever in the program. This is the longest drought we've ever had of their vehicle not being at the launch site. So,
Well,
like,
okay. I started to say technically between SN15 and Flight One, but they had vehicles at the pad. They just weren't
yeah,
flying. So
yeah, not flight. I'm not counting flight. I'm
yeah,
talking even testing vehicles at the pad. We've never had a lull this long.
Lol, lol. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you think, yeah, like you said, that you think, but like Jake said, that's you can't always rely on logic like that with development sites like this Starbase for sure. But yeah, you would think they would have done that already. It'd be a bit of a thing, I suppose, once you removed all this and then redid the manifolding under here, you could put the gas generators out here, I guess, and nitrogen's right there. I mean, there's quite a lot of look at the launch site. There's quite a lot to those gas generators with the system behind them as well. It's not just a matter of just popping a couple of gas generators in. It's quite the infrastructure's got to go in as well. But that's not impossible by any means. I'm not saying that's the reason why they didn't do it. They very well could have. They've, like you say, they've had plenty of time to do it. That's for sure. I mean, they've rebuilt the whole dang site, haven't they? I mean, they've had more than enough time to modify it. Tiny. Look at all this modification. They've had plenty of time just to do that tiny little modification. So I'd say, yeah, it's not on the books.
the only reason I can think that they wouldn't have done it yet is wouldn't have been able to get the parts, and they're only or when they wanted to, then when they would have had to order it, they wouldn't have been able to get the parts and didn't think they'd be able to get the parts in time, and now they're realizing, oh, we do have, or we can get the parts or whatever, something like that. But
Yeah, maybe later because they've had, Florida 39A and 37 would be the priority for those sort of parts as well, I would imagine,
yeah,
rather than here
and
in
pad
well,
one
that's
too.
right.
Well, the pad one rebuild would also be in there with 39A and 37.
Absolutely. And what they say, leave well enough alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
So everyone, I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, I'm thinking, oh, this stand's almost complete. And man, then I went and added these things and added these things and added this and added that and added this and added that. It's still only a couple of weeks away from being finished, I swear.
It's the perpetual 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that area. I've probably missed something. There's probably things I've missed. I apologize when I miss things. The
Yeah.
methane farm's still patiently waiting away. We got one more extra vertical tank down here. Believe we've got an extra LOX pump. Where's that photo?
What, we have all four now?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that would mean that that is finally complete. Literally, the
Yep.
only thing that's left is finish the trust stand. Here we are, 9 months later, and it's finally done.
All right, now
Well,
you've said that they're gonna remove a pump this week.
yep.
Right?
Easiest way to jinx things is to say something like that for sure. So there's still at these spectacle, what do you want to call them, valves set for the old LOX pumps, but that's only a matter of 10-minute change. Just- But I mean, there's nothing here to, except for this tank, I guess. There's nothing really here to be used anyway. So what they do, they've still got this tank and they're working on it. So this tank is not finished yet, obviously.
Yeah, they still need to do stuff with it, so
Oh, they're not in
yeah.
it right now. That's not actually operating right now. What are
Yeah.
these? Are leftovers? Oh, sorry.
The only other thing they did add this week over at the updraft vent is that the second fan is finally wired in. Last week they didn't have it wired yet.
Oh, it's wiring here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's only the left side conduit was there last week.
Cool. Where are those conduits? Are they running across here? Are they across to this one of these in this line of conduits? Are they?
It's one of the three. Yeah, it's two out of the three that kind of go over to where they put that new electrical service where you drive under them to get to the high pressure tanks under the locks. behind the boom right now. That crane boom on the right hand side of the lock stinks. Yeah, there's that line. There's that pipe. There's another 2144 shows it, or even there. But yeah, two of those three right there are the vents.
Oh, these ones, yeah.
Yeah,
And they run over here to, yeah, that building, yeah. Well, I presume that building. Okay.
And we want to thank Turtle Sanctuary for their five gifted memberships. Thank you so much for your 5 gifted memberships, and congrats to all the recipients.
Oh, that's awesome. Good on you. That's a really good support. Thank you very much. So, hang on. How's that working? I thought only members were in YouTube chat.
They are, but they could be Patreon. So they may not have a YouTube membership, but they might have a Patreon membership. So if they don't have one and we're gifting memberships, they all of a sudden get gifted a YouTube membership as well.
Okay, thanks. So probably, okay, cool.
Holy jumping.
So I guess,
Sorry, I'm
so that's pretty well the locks farm and the ship cryo stand. Now, the big news this week, I guess, is they've finally removed, where'd it go? They finally removed, oh, there it is, Tank 17 out of the Super Crusher and went and put it on the old cryo stand.
I joked that they were going to run cryo lines to it and test it again.
Well, I mean, this tank came here on that 4-point transport stand, so I'm sort of baffled why they didn't bring that stand here to take it back as well.
Maybe they just want that available for 20s aft.
Yeah, it
It
was
may, not be it may just not be coming back. They're just going to store it out there right now for whatever reason.
And there's a good point I saw raised the other day with the stand it's on now. That's better. It's got obviously means there's a lower center of mass for that test article compared to the little aft stand, which isn't really. So I think that stand it moved to masses on literally just sat on the SPMT, so it wasn't like tied down or anything.
It's a little more stable of a place to put it for now, and they'll keep it here. And it's not if they're done testing it and everything, the only place it needs to go is the scrapyard, and they'll put it there whenever they feel like it, whenever they have the time to. And right now, they just don't care. I think is the whole thing on it, and they don't want to use the aft cart for it because they also don't want to do a closure to interrupt what they're doing with the Massey's Way. And then they need the aft cart to use for Booster 20's aft because they'll get to that at some point over the next couple of weeks. So they just don't want to deal with that. That's probably why they put it on that stand instead.
I wonder if they can't, like, because it's tall, they to be able to store it safely. Because when it came on the cart, it literally came out of the factory straight to here, and then got put on the stand here. So
No, they
if it was,
stacked it in Mega Bay 1 and then it rolled to Massey's.
yeah, okay, the Mega Bay, yeah.
Because this thing is not short. It can't, as far as I know, that thing cannot go into. I don't think it can go into the nose cone hole. I think it's too tall. I don't remember, but
My point is, though, they probably can't store it. It's probably too tall to store, like, until I cut it in half, and maybe it's just too tall to store anywhere without being on a stable stand, a bolted down stand. Whereas when it was on the 4-point cart, it literally only had to come out of the bay, but strapped to I'd say it was attached to the SPMTs, then come down here where it was put straight in this cage. Maybe it can't be sat long term on the ground on its own or on the cart even for a week because of wind. It might blow over. Although 9 meters wide, yeah, you'd think it was kind of stable. But anyway, yeah, short term storage. I think that's probably the best guess. Oh, more brackets. Were they there last week? I
No,
don't think so.
no, that's new.
they're They're building something to that stand, and then something new is gonna go on it. We'll have to wait and see what they're gonna test. I don't know right now. Um,
So there's
it
two sets angle in sort of similar.
what they could do, in theory, is make another test tank for grid fin testing, and then have one grid fin be hooked to that thing to hook to whatever they're building, and then I don't know, stress test the grid fin. That's spitballing.
Well, we've still got these three things here and those three things at Sanchez. So there's something going on with that whole thing. Will be interesting to see. Have they cut the dome out? Oh, no, is that the dome down there? I thought I'm seeing no dome in there.
That's just the skirt.
Yeah, the
Ah,
dome. The dome is completely gone now.
yes, that did have the dome in it, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They cut it in half again and removed the
yeah.
dome.
yeah, that's right. They did do that.
Ah, I see
Well,
what you're saying. Yep.
SpaceX is in a pretty good position to test a lot of stuff in the future now if they want to. They have two functional can crusher stands with two functional caps. One can test it in a ton of different ways. The other one can just can crush it. Now, like they're pretty set up for for stuff now if they want to. That can crush.
So,
It's too funny. The Super Crusher has had two test tanks in it, and that's it. It's had the ship 3 aft, the ship 2 aft, actually. Scratch that. The block 2 ship aft. And then it's had the block 3 ship aft plus transfer tube plus landing tank, and that's all it's had in its history because
You
one
mean
of them
the
was for 9 months.
booster, B3
Booster,
booster?
B3 booster, yeah. But
so
yeah,
where's the? Did they already scrap the dome section and put in scrap bins already? Must have. I can't
it's
see
already
it
gone.
anywhere. They're already gone. Yeah. Staying here with, I noticed the 3 center rings and the 13 center actuators have been removed from this stand.
Yeah, they're over by the inventory tent.
Yeah, because
One
Super
of the
Crusher had
park.
the booster aft, or the booster transfer aft, not ship.
Yeah, I
To the right side, there
blah.
by on the right side of the parking space.
They're
Yep, right
pretty
Oh,
there.
one big
obvious right
ring.
there.
Yeah.
It's the crown.
Did they also? Didn't they come out in 2 parts? Didn't they come out in 2 different parts, BJ? Have they just put them back together again, have they?
Yes.
Yeah, they've just set the 10 around the 3. The Thursday flyover, only the 3 was there, and the 10 hadn't been pulled out yet.
Cool.
Still curious if the new set of rings is going to be for something ship related to utilize it, and they'll just have to. And I think I speculated maybe that's what that other adapter ring is for. And we'll have to wait to see if the booster clamps come off of those arms.
That, that and what, sit some kind of ship ring here on top of the arms, or?
Yeah, you could even put 39.1 is welded to one of those bolt frames. They could if they're using a common bolt pattern, the bolts in the top of that adapter ring could then bolt it to there to test the aft differently in here with the crusher or whatnot. Because we're kind of expecting that 39.1 is going to go in there for crush
Oh,
testing. You'd maybe do crush testing in line with some kind of aft dome testing injunction with it.
that's what this is, isn't it? This might bolt
That's
to the top of those arms.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my thought on why the 20 downs look the way they are. And initially, I thought maybe it would be for the old booster cryo stand, but of course, testing 17's on there now.
Yeah,
Oh, that makes sense.
I would assume that they're gonna do some kind of adapter setup and they're gonna stick 39.1 in there and then they're gonna put the cap on and do all sorts of fun crush and twist testings with it after they're done modifying it here, and then they'll bring back the cryo stand and maybe modify it for block 3 ships, so then they have two ways to thrust in block 3 ships then.
Hey, you know what else they can do with this? They can bolt this onto an OLM.
Well, not really. The ship inter
No,
the clamp interface is both completely different.
they would need to set up a whole ship bolt interface on that, and then they would have to beef it up to accept RVAC mounts, and then you'd also have to find a way to turn two QDs into one and have fun.
You're
So,
telling me there's a chance.
well, since
I'm
there's no
telling you, there's a
well,
chance.
Ryan, the thing of it is though is that because there's no center line booster QD, you just have to add one. You don't have to replace it. You just have to add one.
So take off. So you're saying take off the back hoods, disconnect the hoses, and route them to a single. That's what you're saying to me, right?
Or
Yeah,
some
that sounds.
or something, yeah.
Or as they did, slice through the slice through the hoods. Oh,
Yeah, just open the door. Just open the side doors. They've got convenient side doors.
oh yeah, you can open the side doors and grab out all the hot. You could do all the high pressure stuff and the pre press stuff like that, but you might actually have to take the back hoods off for the primary supply hoses.
That's the
The,
spirit.
the hilarious thing is depending on which way you want to clock the ship, you could either route them around the top of the mount if you want to clock the ship towards the tower, or you'd have to try to find a way to clock it away from the tower, which you should be able to do with the sticks either way. Shouldn't really matter that much. It shouldn't really matter. And then you just have to route it to a single QD. So you could do it. Not that they're going to do it, but you could do it.
What I'm saying. This is had a modification on top here. I'm wondering whether this cap is slightly different for the top of 39.1 in some way. So it's like
Well,
another platform up here.
one cap was both caps are slightly different, I think, aren't they?
The only difference really is this one doesn't have the old strap holders. It's still got it's got the twisting. Where are they? The attachment points for the twisting it. Those for the rams up on top. It's got the mounting points for the 5 vertical rams. Well, it's kind of vertical rams. But yeah, it is a time. Well, now it's very different because this one now has a platform on top like this. I mean, not like this. I mean, unlike this, which may just be an iteration. It might still maybe functionally the same, if you know what I mean. Just a different iteration of it. Because this one's been around the block a few times, so to speak. Had a few mods. Whereas this one was scratch built, so.
Yeah, I wonder if that catwalk on the top they're adding might be just they found that like being able to guide the rods down with the crane, trying to be able to reach them from that lower catwalk, they're probably almost already bumping into the top ring. Just give it another place for them to be able to insert those a little bit easier.
Yeah, yeah. Could just be that simple, yeah. I think these are there they are down there, the attachment for the 5 down rams. And where I saw the other ram attachment points too for the ones at the top here that do the twisting. Just can't see them in this photo because of the lack of pixels. I'll look on last week's image in a sec. So between that ring and perhaps that ring, yeah, you could set up the 6 RVAC mounts in the center. I mean, it looks like it's literally a drop in, drop out sort of situation. And now I was wondering how they were going to adapt, if they put a ship in here, how they were going to adapt the ship into here. And it just didn't occur to me at all that that was what that ring was until right this very moment. And that makes a lot of logical sense because, yeah, literally that's the same face as what these clamps are bolted onto. That face down there, that's exactly what they need, just a flat face. That'd work quite well. So 39.1 maybe another tank, but yeah, maybe 39.1 goes in here next. That's definitely a possibility. Can crush it. So yeah, so what they're doing at the moment is testing on 39.1. I guess they're testing the dome and all the Raptor mounts It's hard to talk and find images at the same time when you're a bit tired. Doing all the, the thrust puck testing and cryo testing, pressure testing, and then, later on, actually crush it. Should be good to see. So all these pipes down here, I wonder if they're leftovers or they got things to still add. Whether it's part of the super crusher modifications for the ship. So the super crusher never had a BQD, did it? No, it was just plumbed in on these sort of things, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just makeshift stuff, nothing real official.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Always the case. I think there's not much to talk about at Masses. Next thing, an hour later, here we are still talking about it.
Yeah, we'll have to watch one of the sets of pull down rods for that too, because ship 39.1 I think is one ring shorter than what 18.1 was, so it's going to need a different set of rods. Although I guess the adapter would maybe uh, replace that one ring maybe and make it be the same.
They can also adjust
Yeah.
those. You remember seeing what they did for 18.3. They had some fun adjustment with those.
Yeah,
With the
that's why I
dial.
would say it was more of a hint. If we watch them start
Yeah.
adjusting it, we might get an advance notice of when they start being ready to move it.
Probably a little bit of tolerance in the Rams as well. Yeah, between that ring and the Rams, starting in a different spot. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they won't need it, maybe they will. But for sure, if we see the rods getting modified, that's for sure a good sign. If they don't get modified, it doesn't necessarily mean that's not what's happening.
They'll just be surprised.
Okay, so nothing there. We've checked there. Yeah, we're still, things are starting to sort of show there. It looks like it's more about flap actuator testing perhaps than
Well, I think it's flat
attachment.
plus. I think it's just about everything. They're gonna roll up the ship and test a whole bunch of different things on that thing. I think is what it's all for. But
Like a mini Maxilla, it's gonna have arms all over it. It's like a little
yeah,
little huggy robot thing.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what kind of linkage, like what kind of link arms are going to get attached to those with how they've got those three actuators sitting horizontally up there. I know you might have talked about this before I jumped in, but I'm
No.
curious. The hoses aren't and don't seem to show that it's going to move much. So there's to be able to do aft flat or do the forward flap stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Where they've got Rams on here already.
Well, the three rams that were sitting on the platform, we've seen it in the ground images. You can see they're sitting on frames at three different levels that line up with the three sets of attachment points, as if each clamp, those big clamps are going to are going to do two sides at the same point with like a link in the middle, kind of like a steering linkage almost, but not steering, obviously.
Can we see them in our images?
I have to look. I'm not sure we got a clean enough one, but I know I mean, I think even Sean had images from his ground images. From the backside, you could see two or three of them. Well, one or two
Oh,
of them.
cool.
You couldn't see all three.
Well, I can show his stuff. Let me quickly bring up one of his images. Might take a sec.
See which one of us can find it first for you.
What day would that be? What's the date he did those photos?
11th is the date stamp that Indian Star put on the in one of the other forums.
Oh, I've got the images here. Now, what do I need to do? I need to put that over there.
So he would have taken the photos on the 10th, Steph.
Here we go. Oh, I need to put his watermark on. Hang on.
Then why does it say taken on February 11th on the post you made?
Is that what I wrote?
Like the
February
fucking
11th, and February 11th is the right day.
Yeah,
I,
you posted on February 12th, and it says
sorry.
taken. So
I
I was
thought you.
trusting it, and it looked right.
It is right. I thought you said that I
Yeah.
posted it on the 11th. That's why I said the pictures would have been the 10.
No. Yeah, there's a couple of them that are looking straight at the back of the stand, and are pretty clear. That's not one of them.
we've got his watermark on.
If you go all the way to the top, Stephanie, you can see them there.
And yeah, the watermark is there.
What the hell?
Yeah, let's get a photo. Hang on.
I was hoping that the bumpers were going to be attached to what I think they're going to eventually be attached to, but they look like they're still on something temporary. Kind of see it on here. There's some better images than this one, Stephanie, but yeah, well, that's not the one I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I think is going to be for pulling upwards on the catch pins. Up top, second row. You went too far, Stephanie. There's a okay, that one right there. Yeah, use that one. Yeah, so those three that were sitting on the platform are now sitting up on these kind of forks up here, and they're all hooked up to the hydraulics. And there's each one of these is roughly at the same height as what those clevis mounts are. And I think what's going to end up happening is I have no idea what the linkage would have to look like to turn the flaps, but it's like that ram is going to push and pull to then rotate some kind of linkage that pivots on those mounts.
I'm not seeing a ram. Oh, there.
Right.
I see there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the fixed point, and then the threaded end with the ram is on the right hand side. And all three of the ones that used to be on the platform are just like that, and they're hooked up to their hydraulics. I mean, it makes no sense to hook them up to this, and if they were going to move them somewhere, because all of the controls are right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, that just made the mystery even more mysterious, didn't it?
Yeah, so it's instead of like having like the bottom looks like it's a little different, but we haven't since with the clouds we're not going to get a good view of it, and I don't think there was any other good views because it's too low for the ground shots. But I'm curious if the bottom will have something similar, or if it'll have like 6 actuators for the 6 points instead of like sharing a bigger actuator and it being like I don't even know how to describe what the motion is, but you think about how like a rack and pinion on a steering or something where you have one motion controls a linkage on both ends, but instead of being like parallel linkage like steering, these are going to probably articulate mirror image on the left and right side.
Cool.
And then you did show that other one there's that other one that's sitting up through the cage that we talked about last week with there's a link on the end of it. I'm wondering if that's going to be what ultimately connects to hang the bumper frames so that they can actually take that bumper and put it under a catch point and lift with that ram that's attached.
Oh, certainly one of the earlier images.
Yeah, I think the one just left, the one you selected might have had it. But yeah, there's a lot of good images of it.
Or maybe the next one across.
Yeah, the basket of that lift is kind of in the way there. You can see the bracket that's attached to it right there. Obviously, this was before they actually attached the bumpers. But yeah, there's that bracket has a shackle point on both ends of it, and it's connected to the middle of it is connected to a ram that goes down to the other arm. That makes me think that that's what's going to support the bumpers eventually and let them pull up on catch points.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. 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 Yep.
I don't remember if Sean was out there more recently after they hung the bumpers to see, but they're not supported by that right now. They're temporarily hung up on something else temporarily, I think. Anyways,
February. I think 11th. Oh, 12th. Okay, let me quick look in here.
yeah, even for 4491 out of our flyover today kind of shows the bumper size stuff. Anyways,
I'll come back to Sean. Yeah, I suppose we're supposed to do an RGV stuff, not Sean stuff, but anyway. No, it's just launch site today. All right, I'll just leave that for now. Okay, let me just get rid of that.
Sanchez?
Okay, so what number did you say, BJ, on ours?
4491. I mean, this one's not bad. The one you have right now isn't bad either. I mean, you can see where the ram on the right arm, it's a little clearer because it doesn't have the other stuff. But you can see how that vertical member is a ram down to the one arm, and with the bracket across the top, and then that cage is just to make it so that doesn't fall over. It keeps it semi upright.
That's crazy.
And then
So,
the bottom arm, and then you can the bottom arm that the arm that was added at the bottom is right at the level of where the bumper is, where there'll probably be a horizontal ramp. Because right now that one from the ground shots you could actually see it's actually pulled away from what would be the ship if it was there, and then it can be it can be let to go farther in.
you've got me scratching my head here.
Yeah, lots of fun testing going on there.
Basically, let's just say this: they'll be able to like stress test the flaps, in multiple different directions. They'll be able to squeeze the ship. I don't know if 100% they're going to be able to lift up against the points, the catch points. I'll have to see how they finally hook everything up. And then of course it looks like they're going to do the same thing for the aft flaps too. They're going to be able to like pull them and whatnot. And so they're testing the hinges, they're testing the flap actuation points, the actuators themselves. They're testing a lot of stuff. So we'll see how long 39 is out there for.
Oh yeah, actually, if 44 to the 4491's the one that I mentioned before, Stephen. You can actually see those blue rams are actually connected on the left hand side of those three lower attachment points. I think the right side hasn't. Well, actually, the right side. I think the right side does too. You're just looking straight down the length of them. Down at they're at the six on the six lower points for the aft flaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
little
think
harder.
they're
To,
in
the
there
right side,
too.
yeah, they're a little harder to see because you're looking like straight on those particular. But that
So,
was an
hang
extra.
on, but what's holding them? What?
There's a new arm. The arms that were there last week, they've added another piece that comes out forward off of each of the three arms on each side, which is what the Rams are kind of sitting on.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
There was clevises on those last week, so that's what those cylinders pin into.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I get that bit. I just couldn't work out what this grey bit here was underneath them. Yeah, sure, cool.
I
So
have a
that's not.
question.
Is that roughly the hinge? No, that's not. It's too close together to be actual hinges, aren't they? Aren't they? Like
Yeah,
the
I would
three
imagine.
hinges.
Yeah, it does look like that. I'm really curious whether with the Rams on there, what they're going to attach to, unless they've like
I,
removed three tiles off of it and have some kind of hard point inside the to
that's
be able to go or something.
that's my expectation. I kind of expect them to have tiles removed, even though they just those are nicely tiled. It's SpaceX. What do you think? Or it'll be on the inside skin. attached to the superstructure of the
Yeah.
flap.
Well, actually, that would
Um,
be that would be the backside because QD. Yeah, because Q. No, I'm thinking QD is on the non-tiled side, so they could probably fairly easily do it because you wouldn't even have to remove the tile.
yeah, so you could do it on the leeward side of the flap, attach it that
Yeah.
way. I We'll know when they roll out 39 because it might have attachment points on it, BJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Since they've been hiding it the other way, we can't tell sitting in, even though we've got a good view of it in Megabay 2. It's just not the right way.
Would
So
they
do
do
you
some kind
think
of like bolt-on cover like the chines, maybe?
Uh, Good. Yeah. We'll find out. I mean, that's
do
one of the things.
do you think the, flaps could be open and we have room in here to sit them open?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's
Yeah, that's
below the bottom of the flaps?
the static fire stand sits above that.
yeah, and
It's above the truss.
those arms that they're sitting on right now are rotated completely away from where they'll be with the angle they'll be for testing. Those rams will probably be in a straight line with that angle brace that goes back to that vertical member on the side is probably the roughly the straight angle of testing.
Oh, you think those
And
oh, you think that whole thing can rotate?
Yeah,
also
they're sitting. Oh, sorry, Ryan.
I was gonna say they also have to be able to open the flaps for static fire testing. If they couldn't open the flaps for that, it'd be a problem.
Okay,
Because
cool.
they don't like to keep those closed. I think it's a vibration issue thing. Like to keep them open and locked, basically.
I got another
Cool.
question in chat for you from
Sure.
All for One. They're asking, with SpaceX shift to lunar base, how much testing of those designs could be done on the static fire gantry? Done at the static fire gantry.
Well, I think we're a bit early for that still. I mean, I know they're pushing to do the lunar stuff, but I think for now they wanna, launch Starlinks and get, the Artemis program out of the way, and then move on to their own lunar stuff, I guess. Like, that's quite a few more steps along the way. They're still back at this step here, getting orbital, catching ship, doing refueling on orbit. But maybe later. I mean, test stands quite up and get modified and to do other tests. Yeah, I have a hammer too, don't forget.
Oh boy.
Well, all right. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't personally. I think that's something a bit further along, rather than right now. To be honest. All right. So thanks, BJ, for that extra quarter hour of information. It's awesome. Thank you very much. I didn't even think to look at Sean's images. Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
based on the conversation, it makes me think in the 5, 10 minutes I missed at the beginning, you might not have talked too much about the stuff up top.
We
We
have
talked
not.
about some of it, but no, not as much detail as you came up with. Thanks. Yeah.
We were waiting for you, BJ, of course.
I haven't had time to look into it that much with everything going on, and yeah, that makes sense.
Because you were waiting for
All right.
BJ,
Well,
of course.
Yeah, of course, waiting for BJ.
Thank you, BJ.
well
Yeah.
let's move over to Sanchez then. I have more images coming through. Let me just check here.
Yeah,
None from Massey's, but
the only thing small for Massey's is that the transformer for the added mega packs arrived this week, but that's a small point.
Yeah, whatever. Just more mega
no.
packs.
So that's two big transformers. I'm wondering if that's the main step down for the whole site, or if this one's the main step down for the whole site. And then goes into the intermediate high voltage. Anyway, minor details, like you said. That's cool. What do we got? We've got 92 in batch 2. Is that right, Mauricio? Oh, we've lost Mauricio. What are all the guys doing here, not out with your Valentines with your wives and girlfriends, huh? Now, Sanchez.
Being lonely. What?
Starship
Oh,
is our significant other.
Girlfriend.
Hey, right. Hey,
That's
Ryan.
depressing.
Amen to that.
That's depressing. That's all I'm gonna say. But
What?
here I am, lonely.
Are you though? You have all of us.
That's true. That is true.
And Starship doesn't talk back to you. It'll make you happy when you look at it. So many things going on
It'll
for
blow up.
I mean, it could, but that could be a good thing. You learn so much more when she blows. Just saying. Silver lining
I'm
it all.
just gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one the
Yeah.
hell alone.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Alrighty. Well, we can have our Valentine's Day right here on Show and Tell. Then there you go. How's that?
There you go. There you go.
The Massey's sort of areas, sort of these bits that were here last week have been moved. These seem new too to me. Whether they're just nothing in particular, or only there's 3 of them again. There's 3 of them, 3 of these. There's something to
Yeah,
do
no,
with that.
there's a little cutout in the platform on each one too, a little notch there.
Yeah.
Then they go around the bits on the top right there. Actually, I think those things on the top right go vertical.
Oh, these things.
And and then maybe those platforms go around those.
Oh, yeah. They fit up in through here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Jeez, this thing's been so long in the development. We saw these arms ages and ages ago. Now these have shown up, and these things. This thing that have been put together. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'd love to see what happens with all that sooner or later. Looks like we got charging stations here now. No, they might have been there for some time actually. Now I say that. Okay, ship transport stand has been fully assembled, or the main ring anyway, has been fully assembled. Gee, looks so clean, even compared to these booster transport stands.
Is there cameras on the arms on the transport stand to the right? Big cameras and 4 arms. No,
Yeah.
it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it.
We believe
that
so,
stand,
yeah.
so that stand should be pretty much ready to go then, I think.
Yeah. Not that they need it right now, but yeah. Now they just got to take 17's aft off the other one and bring it over here and get it modified too.
Yeah, I'd say that stand's ready to go. It's got no scaffold or anything on it. It's no work, no welders or anything around it. I'd say that's well and truly ready to go. It's been there for how long? So it should be ready.
It's just in time for Peanwit's birthday today. Happy birthday, Peanwit.
Happy birthday.
To you. Oh, there's weird bits.
Yeah, all the ship stands are built now. They just got to get all the clamps and everything installed.
How's this?
Those, those white bits, haven't they come over from near the Rocky Garden? Or is it different things over there?
Let me have a look at
Look the
that.
same, yeah.
Well,
They were
upside down.
down. Where were they? Where were they? There's some. Is that? Yeah, them. Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking about?
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, just upside down.
They are doing something.
Another weird stand. Because there was those Z beams too that were here the other week. They're over, but there's some more here too, Jake. Actually on stands. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8? What do you mean 8?
It's like some kind of offset test thing.
I mean 10,
Yeah, it's
6, and
weird that
20, but
I was
8?
gonna say the shapes of them aren't symmetrical either. Weird.
Mm. Like a torque, like you could test for torque or something, or rotation.
Kind of
Yeah.
reminds me. It kind of reminds me of those on the clamps in the Super Crusher. Remember how they had that like asymmetric support that goes around the pull down rams? It kind of
Yeah.
reminds me of that almost.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still 2 more over there. Oh, 2, 3 more over there. Interesting. Okay, this ship transport stand. Careful how you say that. So there's some more of those. So there's Z brackets, beams. There's more wonky beams here. It hasn't done any work on this ship transport stand this week. I don't believe they're part of this. I think they're going to be like BJ suggested they might be like for a dome, one of these stands just with a depressed center for like a dome fit into, possibly. All right, so yeah, more speculation about this thing being an adapter for the Zip Crusher. That's awesome. I think you're pretty spot on there. I think that's what's going to happen. But I mean, every time I say that, they do something different. So maybe I shouldn't say things like that.
No, it makes a lot of sense, I think.
Geez, I'm really impressed how well these images came up, considering what the raw images look like. Wow, it's incredible.
Well, I was saying earlier, they probably come up really nice in the end.
Yeah, I caught a bit of Webby this week and was pessimistic about the outcome.
What, Weberism?
That's a new word. Cool.
What?
We're talking about
Nothing.
acting, not see ya. That's all good. Now, yeah, they've scrapped this further, haven't they? That's I have to look at that last week. Hang on, I'm pretty sure they have.
It's like they're
Yeah,
taking
it's
quarters
taken a
out of
while.
it.
It's taken a while to tear it apart. That's just really the thing. Just taking a while.
I just really want to see that the inside face of that thrust structure at the bottom.
You and a lot of other people.
Oh no, maybe not.
No, they
Oh, yeah.
definitely have. They definitely have. The outer wall on that is just gone. Yeah, no, they're scrapping it. It's just taking a while to do it all.
Okay, yep, down there scrapped. I see that wall down there. Oh yeah, yep. You want to see this thing tipped over or just the bare top side of it?
I want to see the bare top side of it. I want to see what's going on the inside of the tank there.
Yeah, with where the inset Raptor mounts are.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Is I want to see what are those inner 10 engines actually pressing up against on the other side of that plate.
New design, yeah. It's always nice to see into a new design. I see. It was that tall. Oh, they've taken these walls up. Yep. What's going on over here? There's a ladder. That it might just be perspective. They look somewhat taller to me this week. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a clevis mount or so. Yeah, there's 3954. They've added clevis mounts to those two uprights.
Where is it? Oh, over here. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, they're just quite tall. Okay. Yep. They have two. Yep. Well, there you go. That's not the So these aren't legs then, after all.
As Zach has been saying, those are jaw mounts, you know? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bring back the jaws. Sorry, BJ, what was that number?
3954.
Looks like one of
Yeah, you
those
just see the failure.
aircraft, what do you call it? Staircases getting
Is it two
into a
sets of
jet.
them or just one?
Looks like just one. Looks like
Oh, yeah.
a female.
It's just a bit of welding or something on the bottom.
Now, is that a perspective or are they angled in a bit too?
Gets perspective. The right one looks pretty much straight.
Those are standard warehouse ladder stairway. They use those all over the place in warehouses.
Sure, yeah. Very good. Oh, more of these things have arrived too. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another whole set of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's an extra set of these though. Oh, hang on. No, are they different? No, they're the same, aren't they? Or, oh, they've just packaged differently. These are side by side. These are nose to nose. Whatever, back to back. 4, 4, and 4. So maybe there's going to be a third set of these come. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there's going to be a third set of these come along. Haven't done anything with that steel yet. What about down here? They're doing. Oh, hello. What's going on over here?
Yeah, there's a whole thing being built over there.
Okay, what?
What the heck?
So, is that got to do with that
Yeah,
and that and that?
Yeah, that was one of the things I thought when I saw it. It's a little bit farther along than it was during the midweek. Almost looks like they can put clevis mounts on top of those other two legs that creates a breakover adapter for that other ring. Might actually finally
It's
be
a breakover.
might not be a meme this time.
Like a cradle or something.
Yeah,
An A-frame that forms the cradle and then pivot. The A-frames are the pivot.
So the pivot point is that way. Yep, that's correct. Then maybe this is a stop, like the bottom of the booster sits. It's like a stop. And to break over, you'd have to be taller. This would have to be sitting up on something because the 9-meter circle there, if it was to pivot over, you'd be down here somewhere. So this needs to be off the ground a bit. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe this is the bottom. No.
yeah. This looks very much like a bottom base piece to me, whatever it is.
Rather than being upside down like that, could sit on top of that, up the other way. What is the distance? It's hard to tell, isn't it? So there's the 9 meters that way. It's bigger than I thought. There's a 9-meter there. That's like a 9-meter there, and just over maybe. And there's that 9-meter there. Well, there's another 9-meter there. Maybe.
Well, I guess I was talking about it the other day. They're gonna need. I guess they're gonna use the same breakover for ship and booster, so they're gonna need something to interface to both.
Maybe.
If they go
And
that
there's
direction.
these two parts that may or may not have anything to do with that. May not have anything to do with that over there after all. Well, we'll
The
just have to keep an eye on that.
the black piece on the left almost looks like it could rest on the chopsticks catch beams, maybe if it's wide enough. But I don't know why it would do that though.
Yeah, I can see that. Where is that piece? Oh, it's hidden by 20 again. Yeah. But is that 9 meters?
No, no, that seems a bit too short.
Let's take it 20 out of the way. Move 20, please. Try this angle. Oh, that doesn't give us a good angle of the sides. Gives us a good angle of that size, though. Oh, yeah, that's quite wide, yeah.
Tapers out. Yeah.
Yeah, it even yeah, I didn't see, couldn't make out that taper in the other image.
And there's still a few
Yeah.
parts hanging around that area, too.
What part of that
Hmm,
is the
yeah.
taper? Because it looks like it goes straight. Oh, okay.
Between that point and that point is tapered, yeah. Can you see? Oh, there's a camera here, too. You can see him on this shot here. There's a camera there. So there's just this last stand to modify for version 3, but I mean, I've got to get rid of little 17s aft. Gee, in the near future, it's going to be really, really hard to remember which numbers are which in the not too distant future. Okay, well, that's interesting. All that area of Sanchez, yes. So definitely keep an eye on what's going on there. There may not be a meme after all, like you say, which would be good. Still kind of think it's a bit early, but I mean, for breakovers, but I mean, be good to get it out of the way, I guess. And look, Florida's nowhere near ready for a booster yet. But doesn't mean they won't get it ready for it in the meanwhile. Now, do we have a shot over near the bay there? I think we do. Oh, these were the shots. No. Just look at 90. I think batch 2's ready. Let me just check my DMs. Yeah, batch 2 is ready. Yeah. Just give me a sec.
Yeah, Johnny in chat says display stand for the rocket park. That could actually be more of a better idea.
Yeah, it's plausible too.
Do we know what they're digging up next to Mega Bay 1 there? One above that too.
Is it a vault?
Looks like they're
Slightly above that.
accessing the services through here, I think. Where did those services run? From this tank farm here, they ran services over here. Yeah, let me have another look. I might have a better shot in the build site photos. Let me just quickly look at build site photos with that. Yeah, get
And
the right word.
BJ,
Yeah.
we were talking about the gantry that was going to be doing the flap actuators. The question from Grayman was whether or not the gantry using that particular force, because it'd be pushing it back, has the ability to do that.
The ones that the upper ones or the lower ones? I'm wondering, not quite gathering the question.
Well, I mean, force-wise, the upper ones would probably exert more force on the structure in its wrong way, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, the upper ones.
I guess would they hang the 4 points off the two that T-bar? Would they hang 4 points off it, or
Yeah,
Not sure about.
it would feel like it would need to be like a bridle on each one, yeah, where it'd be 2 on each.
Hmm,
Yeah, it'd have to stop it rocking. Yeah, like
yeah,
they've got. But I mean, why this bracket? I don't know about that. Sure about that because they've already got this set up. Like the squeeze test is basically ready as it is right now. Just got to attach those two actuators and a cable across here, and we'll slip the ship in first, obviously. I'm not sure that. Well, no, maybe. Can't see what else they'll. In saying that, I can't see what else they'd need to lift up and down.
Y'all may have talked about this already, but are we sure they're doing a squeeze test and they're not just trying to hold the ship with just where the ship is not sitting there buzzing with harmonics as they're static firing?
Well, they've got
There's,
the. I
there's
don't
an
know.
there's an awful lot of points for them to grab onto the ship at this point. Looks like they're trying to grab flaps and the sides, and you just kind of wonder if they're trying to reduce the harmonics when they're static firing, especially when you consider the way they're going through RVACs and everything else.
Probably worth considering, but also you got to remember it's a new version, so they are reducing weight, so perhaps they need to do all these tests to test its strength and so on. That's
And
a good thought, though. That was Nate, wasn't it? That's a good thought, though.
yeah, we've also seen them use those same arms in the past for squeeze test on previous vehicles, which is
Yeah,
why
but that doesn't
everyone is
take
under the
away.
impression that they would be
Yeah,
used
but
here
that
for the
doesn't.
same purpose.
That's correct, but that doesn't take away from what Nate's saying. Maybe they're just holding the
No,
ship.
no, it doesn't take
But I
away.
don't know. In my opinion, though, they're doing it as a squeeze test. But yeah, I mean, sure. Can never say anyone's idea is wrong when it comes to these sort of things at Starbase because we've all had a feed of crow or three, so for sure that could be a thing. Okay, back here about dudes. Yeah, maybe there's something to do with Gigabay. They need to do something with services. Remember, the services were all here on Gigabay too. Maybe they're starting to hook something in or something. This says the services, as far as I know, for this Gigabay and Megabay are in this area. Oh, they were over here, weren't they, on that corner going in? I think now I'm remembering for this Gigabay. I mean Megabay from that tank farm just nearby, which we believe is for things like argon and perhaps even oxygen. Not sure, just a guess.
Well, the other point was either the Raptors are in already or they're blocking a lot of door access right now. So
I see it. Like, is that also a job site? Oh no. I mean, saying to move the truck to get Raptors in, it's not really blocking the doorway much.
I was going to say if the engines weren't already in that part of Mega Bay One, if the access was blocked slightly, there's a chance they could be taking Raptors from Star Factory as well, because there's definitely engines in that building also.
I'd imagine all the engines are there for booster 19. I would dare say a pretty safe bet. I think that all the 33 engines for 19 are in there.
There's
Has-
probably room to back in a truck directly into the main Mega Bay door and empty out the Raptors that way if they really needed to.
Sure.
Do the engines that get tested, the Raptors that get tested in McGregor, come here straight after McGregor? When we see them leaving McGregor, are they coming here? Or are they going to Hawthorne?
They're coming to Starbase.
Yeah, sorry,
Usually.
Yeah,
Starbase.
they go to McGregor from Hawthorne, get ready for testing, tested, they go through post testing inspections and everything else, make sure there's nothing they need to change or fix or do any more testing on, and then they load them up on a truck and send them to Starbase. So
Okay. Okay. And then we also want to thank Martin for his 10 gifted memberships as well. Thank you, Martin, and congratulations to all the recipients.
Oh, 10, cool. It's very generous of you, Martin. Looks like they're working on the ship static fire stand, not the ship thrust test static fire stand. That's gonna get
also,
confusing.
also I want to point out how much different the clamp interface setup is between this and the one they're going to use for the thrust sim. That's a pretty different plate setup on the whole thing, or at least the
Yeah.
interfaces.
Well, the other one's the same. It's just way behind. The other one, those same plates were used to mark out the drill holes for the first one back when before they installed the clamps too. I don't think some of that stuff is not permanent part of it. Some of it's um, process.
And go back to the previous photo step, and you can actually see the parts that'll go on top of that stand to the right there. They sort of just be, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, they should look fairly similar once they're finished. There may be some differences, but for now, sure. They look very different for now, that's for sure. So I'm guessing they're putting the RBAC. Is that where an RBAC is, in between the shorter distance?
Are they doing anything there at the
Okay,
moment?
I was gonna say go look at the other stand. It'll tell you the orientation of the stand of the.
Oh, of course, yeah. I say, okay. So let me look, there's that. So one's opposite that. So there's that. So one's opposite that. Oh, so it's not. It's in the odd triangle. It's in the odd spot.
Well, unless
No,
this
hang
one's
on, hang on.
rotated, this one could be rotated
Yeah,
180 too, where the center one's at the bottom instead of the top.
Ah, yep, true,
I
true.
was going to say, yeah, you can tell us, yeah, that it rotated around because you see the staircase in the top left there. And when it's over the trench, that's normally in the bottom right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good eyes, Jake. Drew Nar has a
Jake's just got a
question.
good memory too.
Yeah,
Jake's memory is
his recall
amazing.
is crazy. Yeah, I agree. Drew Nar is asking, what if the truss structure is to stop ship from tipping over while testing the forward thrusters we saw on the HLS renders?
Oh, yeah. I think there's more to it than that. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I think even HLS stuff's maybe a bit early for now, but maybe. So the thrusters for HLS, aren't they like all the way around and fire down for landing? Is that what
Yeah.
they're talking about? The Super Dracos?
Yuzada makes a good point too. He says at some point they'll have to static fire the ring of HLS descent ascent engines up at the cargo bay height. And Drew continues to say he's not sure that the static fire stand could hold the tipping force from thrusters so far away. He thought maybe weighting it down with props would affect the tooting.
Well, if they're all fired together, the Super Dracos
Testing.
for ascent and
Sorry.
descent, there won't be any sideways force. It'll all be straight up force. There won't be any side load if they test them all at once. If you know what I mean. There won't be. It's not like they're shooting out sideways or forwards or backwards.
Wouldn't they be?
Gee, talk about rabbit holes. That's awesome. Good stuff. All right, let me look at these things. Just give me 1 second with some file management just quickly here. Give me a sec.
Who's got the Jeopardy music? Where's Matt when you need him?
Music.
Yeah, exactly. Lift music. It was testing, event dude's testing. I meant to say testing.
Yeah, all good. Did we confirm the whole concept that I was propositioning about the LN2 through that particular valve set that would be able to be through the CH4 line?
Not to my knowledge, we have not.
We just assumed that M2 was just there generally.
We talked about the fact that they could put liquid nitrogen to the static fire stand on a discussion between yourself and BJ, was it?
No, but
No, it's
was that the LN2 line though? I guess is my question. I know that can be obviously it can be done, but was that the LN2 line? Is what I was assuming it was based on
yeah, yeah.
pictures.
Blue. I think blue label with white text. I believe, and Alex would have to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure that is LN2. So that top one that you labeled LN2 in Patreon Lounge would make sense.
So then they would have this in mind that they were going to do this from the get go, and or they were going to purge for some reason the CH4 with LN2, or vice versa, because
I
that's
would
been set
think,
up for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah, I don't think I had ever. I don't think I had realized that it was that they had it plumbed in there. I mean, it would make sense, especially if they intended to do full cryo there. That I mean, that was always that one thing about the hesitancy to think that they would do that unless you were paying attention, I guess, which I wasn't.
So is that
I
this
blame.
skid here? Is that the valve set in here?
Did you have the image?
Yeah, if you want to grab Stephanie, it's in Patreon Lounge around noon. Well, noon my time, so 7 hours ago.
And Jake also did the whole thing at the bottom. You can go that way. Thanks, Jake.
That one's sick. Oh, thanks.
But yeah, in this particular image, the out of the middle opening, the left hand pipe is the LN2 coming up, right? You can see at the top view.
So I just trace LN2 is this. I'm pretty sure it's this outside line here. Goes around tracing back here to the hippos over there. So that LN2 line's the skinny one in the middle at the moment here that goes to the far side over there. Comes around the outside. That's the right hand side. Is the nitrogen, which in turn turns out to be that line. Oh, this is coming from the other way around. I see what you're doing. Yep. Okay. Yep. And that's the methane line. Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow labels with black text is CH4.
Yeah.
Wait, so that whole manifold is for CH4?
Yeah, and then in this one where the blue line where the LN2 is labeled on the top, essentially that's a kind of thinking about how like at the launch site they've got those skids where you can backflow stuff. A lot of those ones, it's about redirecting it for detanking processes. Here it's like the old tank farm where there's a way that you can essentially bring in LN2 from a different source, feed it in through the CH4, and then cap it off from the actual methane supply line, so that they can kind of use that same main line from ship to this point for either one, whichever one they want to use.
Check out what Lolo posted in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, check out what Lolo posted. It's pretty much what you guys are talking about.
So that's the liquid nitrogen going to the methane farm. So does that can somehow to be able to still come through down here, I guess? and then up and over onto the methane farm for the hippos. This pipe here is in the way. That pipe might be, yeah, that pipe probably goes over there and through there. But this pipe and this pipe here is not attached to that pipe. That just must just go underneath it, underneath there. You can probably see in this image here. Oh no, not this one, but in the past. Yeah,
I think that top down is a little deceiving. It shows a good route that you can see that bypass is in there. But yeah, this top down. You can't quite see what's above or below and not actually connected to each other.
well, you can see it here. It's not connected here. It's an elbow,
Yep. Yeah.
which is what we're seeing. That's that elbow right there. Yep, that does look very much like that, actually. Bentley is well spotted. Yep, I think I can agree with that for sure. Well done. All right, just give me a sec. Back to file mentions. Now, just quickly seeing if there's anything on a build side or. Give me a sec. Got a new batch here. So it's going to take a minute to sort them out quickly. Of course, when you're trying to rush, it takes twice as long, doesn't it?
At least it feels like it. If it's not in reality too.
By the way, is that a spare CH4 line that's just kind of hanging out there on the left-hand side and it's just chilling? Is that
Yep.
what that was?
Yeah, I think some of the close-ups we've seen, I think forget if it actually, I think it may actually say spare CH4, but yeah, it crosses. That one goes under. If I remember correctly, it pops up on the other side of the road, so it goes towards locks, which is the weird part about it.
Oh, just in case they're going to do some static fire testing in the other rigs.
Yeah, I don't know why you would need it going in that direction, but I'm 95% sure. I might be remembering it wrong, but for some reason I remember it going in a direction that didn't make sense.
Yeah, there was one labeled methane spare. Yes.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look in the archives and see if I can find which direction it actually runs and confirm whether I
Cryo proof
remember it
with
correctly.
methane. There.
Now the rest is build site and launch site. Right. No, so there's nothing new for Massey's. Now it was Sanchez. There was only a few extra for Sanchez, but I don't know if there are any more info. Oh, that's not Sanchez. What were those images? Oh, hang on. No, that's. Oh, sorry. We're in the build site photos now. All right. I'm right. I know what's going on. Trust me. All right. Back on track. So we finished with Sanchez. Any more questions for Sanchez?
Not at the moment.
Yeah, that image in particular came out so well considering the weather conditions today. That's awesome work on the post production.
We didn't discuss it, but they had moved around the transformers over at the power plant building area. Just a minor thing. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was about to echo my comment about the Megapack transformer at Massey's. They did the same thing here at Sanchez too.
And is that indicative of something? The movement of them?
But did they hang on, were they older transformers there last week?
I don't remember which ones were over there last week. I just took note of that there was the extra one there for the new pads.
Yeah, the older ones were there last week.
Oh yeah.
And now this week they've put those two new ones. So another new one here for those pair. So I expect to see. Oh, there it is. Is that it there?
No, that's one of the
Oh,
pre-press.
no.
They're one of the press trailers.
So I guess we expect to see even one more again for that spot. The press trailer's gone from here. That area's been tidied up. And all the cabling's been actually installed. Sort of still expecting to see another couple of pads in here. It's quite the upgrade. I wonder if it's a new design or something. They seem to be able to see these, they seem to need to leave space, but these ones here, they seem to be able to stack them side by side a lot closer. Very good. Event dudes. All right, build site. Build site, build site. There it is. Let's start with the Gigabay. They haven't started on the next level up, but I believe they've started some rebar work. Where can I see that?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find an image that showed it, but yeah, because then since they're starting in the middle there, it's going to be a maze to try and get vision of it.
Oh, they started in the middle, have they?
Yeah, they've been they had a I'm sure if we got the right angle, there's a Tadano right in the middle on the right aisle that's been lifting it in on the second and third floors.
The right aisle from Highway 4, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, from Highway 4's vantage point, so the left aisle from this particular image.
See it straight down
Not
here.
sure if it's in there right now. I'd have to go look at Rover One to see if it's still in the aisle or not. But it may have left after doing its work.
Seems to be
BJ,
hidden.
yeah, BJ, what's your take on why they haven't started level 4 yet?
Well, I mean, based on the amount of corrugated floor that's been stretched out, I think they're just not far along enough on getting everything bolted and trued up, ready to do the next level. Is my guess.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Now, granted, they've come a long way because that middle spine had quite a bit less spread out even a couple days ago. So I think they're finally making some good progress on that. So maybe soon we'll start seeing that next level go.
Looks like they're only going to put walkway on the center here so far. I mean, that could change, obviously.
Yeah, the fact that they haven't
Yeah,
put them all on the
because
other ones makes me think it's just there, and they've even left a little. Well, for now, anyways, they've left the gap between the temporary and the permanent as well.
Yeah.
it's within the last few days they've started on level 6 over at Roberts Road. So
Well, I don't know that I would call it 6 because some of those outside ones of 5, it's just the top half of 5.
5.5 then.
Yeah, yeah, I'm curious to see, and it's interesting because the satellite images we saw the other day, it's not every partition. It starts like in the middle and it doesn't continue. So I'm not sure if it's just the timing of the photos that it's instead of doing 60-foot columns, they're doing everything as each level instead of it being a 60-foot, it's 2 30-footers. We'll have to see when the next person, whoever flies and or gets a better image of the real thing, because the satellite images are hard to make anything out of. But
Oh,
we have seen stage on the ground that there's some 60-foot columns out there, so it's almost like they've in certain spots they might be like starting to stagger the seams where the joints aren't all at the same level, which is going to throw my tracking off majorly if that's true. But there's a lot of 60-foot beams or columns sitting out at the storage lots right now, and there's a lot of half-size columns that have started to arrive too. So hopefully we'll start getting some good images out there to start making sense of them.
I really need one of the other sort of ground cameras, don't you?
Yeah, I think this is the. I don't think I've downloaded. Forget what days that Event Dude's got the newest ones in there. I think this one might be newer than the last I looked at, and you could actually see like there was only 3 of them that were extended up higher, but from Space Coast Live you could see that there's one spot where it's like, okay, we got those half columns at the level 5, but then there's like, okay, there's 3 of them that are sticking up higher than that half level. So it's like, okay, so did they add another half to the previous half, or is it a full size one? It might be a full size just because we have seen some in the ground images or in the satellite images staged. So it's just trying to make sense of it all.
That cladding, is that the cladding crane over there?
Yep. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
got the first like floor and a half worth done on the entire west side, and I think they're about halfway done with the same level of height across the north side.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting how big those things are. They have a huge trailer. We saw the trailers staged in the flyover, and it was interesting to see that they build a whole bunch of them and they bring them in on this big trailer that brings the big panels over before they're lifted.
So Mr. James is
What?
wondering, are they painting level 4 before they bring it over?
I doubt it, but it's not impossible. I haven't seen any painting, and all the rest of the columns are all still stacked as they always have been. So I don't see any evidence of them painting them at the storage lots.
I think
Thank
they
you.
would paint them on the ground. It's easier to access them that way. Good afternoon, BJ.
Yeah, sure. It certainly will be as long as it's taken even to do the first couple levels from lifts, and when you can actually reach them with a lift. It'll be interesting to see if they do shift to trying to pre-paint some of it in advance of going up.
Well, given they're in a salt air environment, it would make sense to try and seal them off from corrosion now, because when that thing reaches 50 stories tall, it becomes expensive. You either dangle people over the side on twin belaying lines, or you build a scaffold up the outside Hong Kong style with lots of bamboo.
Can't quite see into that rebar still, BJ.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have any like straight, perfectly down ones. I don't think this week that let us see in there, but it's happening. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully we'll see some concrete here in a week or two, maybe.
Okay, so Gigabyte, yep. Oh, hang on. Can you see? Oh, I can only see down here.
But yeah, right now most of it, I think getting everything bolted and ready to go, and getting stairs installed is the priority right now. There's the third level staircase installation is just barely starting at this point.
I sort of expected to see rebar on these outside walls first, to be honest, but anyway. I can't quite see in there. I can't quite see if that's rebar in there or not. But yeah, I understand. I mean, that almost looks like rebar, but we do know it's going ahead. That's the main thing, even though we can't see it. Sheesh. Still, I tell you what, compared to the low-res images we saw earlier in the day, that these images are still pretty remarkable, to be honest.
Speaking of
Okay.
build site, while we're here, there are angles you can see. Booster 19 is on the back left work stand. So
I was just about to go there. I think here we can see it in here, back there. Yep. Booster 19's on a proper workstation, as we would expect.
first block 3 to make it on one.
Yeah, and first V3 Raptor engine's getting bolted to it, no doubt.
Looks like lots of chines removed. Those two white racks just to the left side of the door look like they're some new chine segment storage racks.
Okay. Bit early for them for Booster 20.
Yeah, they probably are
So
doing some work on 19, honestly.
That's 19. So Booster 20, tell me more about Booster 20. It's got its common dome, its next barrel down, and a third barrel that I see going to Mega Bay.
The Common Dome, A2, A3, and A4, 4 sections tall at the moment.
4 sections, cool. And on a timeline, is that on par with 18 and 19, or is it quicker or slower?
Oh, I'd have to double
Yeah.
check. I think
Well, you can't
one.
really compare it to 18. There's really no way to compare to 18 because it's the first one ever, and there were
Yeah.
sections that took a lot longer than others. It's a little bit faster than 17, but it's not as fast as 19. We'll put it that way.
It
Well,
took
19 also,
5
especially.
days.
Sorry.
Took 5 days for 19 to get to this stage, and it's taken 7 days for B20 to get to this stage.
Cool.
Yep. Beat me to it.
That's faster than 19.
No,
No,
it's
No,
slower.
it's
It is
slower.
slower.
It's slower.
Ah, yeah.
not by a
Cool.
lot, but it'll be interesting to see the pace of things when they get to stuff like installing the transfer tube and the landing tanks.
I think that's where it's going to slow down the most, and it'll take about a month and a half to 2 months to finish the whole thing. But that's just me.
Ah, cool.
I'm like 95% sure Booster 19's stacking rate was a publicity stunt, and then they had to then spend the next 4 weeks actually finishing the construction of the thing. But they'd say, "Oh, look, it's stacked, but it's not even close to ready yet," kind of thing.
And then ship also. Ship's a little bit quicker this time by 4 days.
Mhm.
Cool. And yeah, I was going to say, Booster 19 is not really a good metric either, yeah, because it was, like you said, probably pushed through quicker than normal. Thanks. Who was that? Oh, Capsa. Thanks. I like your graph, by the way. That's awesome. Is that just an Excel thing?
Yeah,
It was
it's,
Greg from Ring Watchers that came up with it. So
Oh, of course, yeah. So that takes care of ship and boost. I was going to talk about ship 40 as well. So that took care of ship 40 as well. So now there's, well, part thereof, 2 ships in Mega Bay 2 again, which is cool. And the same in Mega Bay 1. There's actually 2, or part thereof, boosters in there too.
speaking of
It'll be.
speaking of go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say it'll be interesting to see when they start setting up the transfer tubes for Ship 40. So I think I remember with 39, they set those up quite far ahead of time.
And speaking of Mega Bay 2, I don't those there's 6 of those L-shaped white L-shaped pieces that we were looking at in Sanchez sitting in front. Not sure that they're part of a ring. I think there's something else, but not sure what. I couldn't find evidence. At one point I was thinking they looked similarly shaped to some of the China elevators, but I don't think they're a little different. So, but the fact that I just saw 3 of them in front of, or 6 of them stacked in front of Mega Bay 2 makes me continue to wonder what they are. 38, 35, Stephanie, is what I'm looking at. Unfortunately, I'm looking at a closed door as well.
Oh, there we go. Huh. Interesting. 6
Whatever
of
they
them
are, they've got
total.
whatever they are, they've got them everywhere.
Nicely shrink wrapped.
So, what are they doing over here? That's interesting. Interesting, we see them get put on some kind of, whatever, stand here, and then maybe in Mega Bay 1, they're adding to whatever platform or stands in there as well. It's interesting they're there, unless, I don't know, it wouldn't just be dropped off there. That's the odd place to drop something off. They're probably staged there for a reason, I mean. Very strange. Oh, they moved the flap carriage over to here, trailer. Oh, booster's getting flaps. Aft flaps. That's what's going on. Haha. You heard it first right here on RGB. Okay, I'll keep moving around while other people are looking for things to find in the photos, which is awesome. I love the way you people run around the photos in the background looking for things that change. Not much going on there. Not much going on here.
Yeah, I actually just found an image that shows that they do. I found there's rebar on the second floor of some of the stacking cell partitions now too. So they're not only in the middle. 3833 I'm looking at. I know it's backtracking a little bit.
33.
Yeah, it's mostly, I think it's mostly on the ones closer to the highway, which I think is why this particular image isn't the good one for it. It's looking at
Oh,
the
is that
west
in
side of
batch
the
2?
map.
Is that in batch 2?
No, it's in batch 1.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, lots of cloud
It's
cover
hard.
left.
It's hard to find the thumbnail this week. Yeah.
But yeah, if you go all the way down towards the bottom, you can see the dark. Yeah, you can see the dark lines sitting on those bottom levels. It looks like rebar to me.
Yeah, maybe not put in just yet. They're sitting there staged. Yeah. Cool. All right. Thank you. Let's go back around the back of that building. Where was that? Over here? No, next one. Oh, this is good for this side. Ah, where's the... Ah, okay. They covered the plants in plastic. Oh, cool. What?
Yeah, they're doing that plaster work up on the very top, so they've got everything covered up a little bit temporarily.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep, don't want to cover the new pretty plants in sticky plaster.
Wait, plaster's not good for plants?
Heaven forbid.
Apparently.
It's a major
Yeah.
cleanup on the west side behind the Star Factory on the west side. There's major cleanup in the loading dock area too. Still a lot of stuff, but not nearly as much as there was recently.
In here?
Yeah, that looks all much cleaner to me.
Have a quick look. Oh, by looking at clear images, it's such a different view. There. There. Oh, wow, yeah. Wow. Compared to this way, all that stuff, yeah, and all this stuff, yeah. All that. A lot of that. Cool. I want to see the Zen garden. What's going on with it? It doesn't look like it's a communal garden after all. Looks like just shrubbery again. And palm trees and other trees. Shrubbery. Bottom floor still continuing to get built out. Oh, look
We
at
got
the
a
front of
previous
it.
shot of the Zen garden, Steph?
That'll be
Please and
right
thank you.
here.
Oh yeah, major improvement. Yep.
They planted it out.
Okay. So they haven't put down the pavers yet. No, no brickwork yet. Still soil. You can see the ripples in it. Thank you very much.
Another little garden going in the front of a wishing well.
Uh-oh. That's going to put Milli Vanilli in my head. Brian Nares has a question. Did they pre-bury
Oh,
conduit to to the power building later on in the build?
Sorry, hang on. What? Did they pre-bury conduit to power the building later on in the building? Which
In
building
the build.
are you talking about? Not sure which building you're talking about. This factory, they definitely put heaps of conduit in under the before they put any of the concrete on top. This building, yeah, we saw heaps of services going under that before they built it. Gigabay, BJ, well, we saw services go into this corner here, so most of the services in this bay will just be run around the surfaces, I guess, around the bays.
Yeah, I'm not so. Yeah, there's certainly not nearly as much electrical done around this one. I know we've seen a lot of the gas related stuff, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure electrical came in here as well.
Do you think they haven't run the electricals upstairs yet, BJ?
No, nothing above ground, and but they probably did rough in some stuff, some at least some conduits down underground, and then they probably haven't pulled any of it yet, though.
I
And
think
Brian
you'd
was
be
referring
correct there, but now's the time to get it into place before it gets too hard to reach.
They'll be doing it all the way. Like they'll be, no, not at all. The height's not as much as an issue as you think. I mean, look at skyscrapers. The height's not an issue. They do it every day. Just like I said, these construction. We see this. We see construction everywhere around the world. This is just one of many. It's nothing special. The height's not overly high. I mean, 400 feet's high, but it's not. I mean, it's not. They go a lot higher than 400 feet and still dangle off the sides.
So to
Okay, this
clarify, Brian
side.
was referring to Gigabay when he was asking the question.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, as far as I know, they've run services just to this corner. I don't remember them seeing. Oh, and there was some services run along the front here too. Along the front here, wasn't there, BJ?
Yeah, there's a little bit of stuff there, and the plumbing stuff was the stuff that kind of sticks in my memory better than any of the electrical work. But I think you're right.
And buildings like this, it's nothing to run. It's nothing to run conduits around the walls now. And that's done all the time. We see that inside the mega bays too. With buildings like this building, not that's not the building. That's not the building I was looking for. Buildings like this buildings, they want the services popped up where they need it in particular because of all the concrete flooring, the walling, and everything. But a big steel building like this, it doesn't matter. You've only got to bring the services in one spot. They can run everything around all the different, just on the framework. There's no problems with that at all. Like every other steel building around, it's like that. That's like a question for Phila, really. Philly, sorry.
What was that?
Oh, the services in a building like Gigabay, the electrical and gases and all that. There's nothing. It's quite likely they'll just run it around, on the internal walls and that. Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be underground to go up to particular points. They can just mount to.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, typically you'll run it into an electrical service room. And then from that electrical service room, that's where you'll have all your main distribution panels, which then go off the sub panels throughout the structure.
Yeah,
Makes
just
sense.
on basic service wiring. Yeah, being an electrician, I've done that heaps too. I'd say with certain buildings, you need it. Like this building, I said you need the services where they have to be, but a big steel frame building is totally different. So yeah, I hope that answers your question there about the services, electrical and stuff. Okay, now I think I found a front shot of that apartment building. Let me look around. There's lots
Yeah,
of good angles.
I was just looking at the ring yard and that bright, shiny new piece of white steel over there that has me wondering about what's going on. That guy right there is new this week.
That's the little hand is pointing to the 3. The big hand is pointing to 12. That means it's
Yeah,
3 o'clock. Or 9, sorry, 9, sorry, it's pointed to 9. Our
I think
trust me, the clocks are the same way around in Australia. 9's on that side, trust me.
think those wedge pieces on the right, on the just to the right of it, I think are all new this week too. They look like they haven't had a chance to collect the dust that everything else has. Nope, those were there last week. Maybe new last week.
Which bit these?
No, those white wedge pieces that are all stacked up to the right of that one, that big piece.
Oh, that right. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you're other right. Those 5 stacks, they were here last week, but they look just as fresh and uh, clean.
It's just saying our lefts and right are the same in Australia, but sometimes they're backwards. Don't worry about that. It all comes out in the wash. Don't worry about it. Piece with holes.
Looks like the bottom
So,
of yeah, that looks like the bottom of a landing tank that hasn't been formed yet.
yep.
Although maybe that might be too long. I guess it would be the right number, but looks like it's too long to be. Looks like that would make more like too big of a ring for it, though.
I don't know. It's circumference when it's laid out. It's longer sometimes than you think. I'd say that's about the right size actually for a downcomer. Oh, you mean a tank? Sorry. Well,
Yeah,
how many
I'm trying
holes
to.
has
I
it
was
got?
trying to think. 3 meters. 3 meters would be what 9.9 feet times 3.44, 27 feet long.
There's
Looks longer
20
than.
holes in it.
Yeah, that's what the 20. The holes is what made me think. Oh, landing tank, but it seems like it's too long for that. So who knows?
Maybe the bottom of the downcomer even. So this is an angle indicator, a pointer for an angle indicator for the breakover. There's the front photo I was looking for. There's the full frontal. Okay, so glass hasn't done much, I don't think. Look at the last week. Oh yeah, it's this hole. It's still a mystery how that's going to end up looking.
Yeah, it looks like the glass. It looks like the mounting brackets for the glass stops at that last upright. So so it seems like it might be open because I think have we seen it closed off in that other corner where that one corner looked like it was open balconies?
Hang on, give me one sec. Well, that's not the building again. Oh, it tricked me again. Twice now. No, it's still not closed, but also this one has like this one's because of the capping on top. Actually, that looks like filled in there, doesn't it? So it actually is left. They are actually
Yeah,
left open.
yeah, those are definitely balconies.
Because remember, we saw the top pieces up here added in that aren't glass that pretty well indicated there a couple of weeks ago that these were going to be left not glassed.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe the
the
same.
mount. Yeah, the brackets definitely make it seem like this other corner is going to be similar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if that showed up in the renders or not about that front balcony. I'd have to see the render photo again.
Yeah, I feel like what I remember the render. I think it was completely enclosed.
Some things that happen with renders and what have you, when you're doing your initial design, the renders are generally done on a schematic design of the building. And then, for approval, so everybody likes the concept. And then when you actually get into building it, you end up with changes in the design as somebody says, hey, we would really like to have that balcony instead. And so the renders quite frequently don't match the final building in many, many cases.
Thanks. Yeah, well, that might be exactly what's going on here. Thanks, Billy.
That would be the ideal spot from that building to watch launches from.
Oh yeah, be a good spot
I
to
mean,
be able to let the media guys have their cameras too. Although closer to the launch site would be better for that. Okay, now I can finally go to that site that keeps tricking me. This site down here. And it's still Seen a much difference this week. All right, let's go to the launch site. Everyone's like, yay, finally. I was thinking, wow, those photos came up good, but that was last week.
Yeah, I think the only thing that in that lot that changed was that they finally got rid of the fence so that they can start busting up that interior pad that they didn't do initially.
Oh, wow, these came out really good. Okay, cool. Now, let me go and find that roof section first. Quickly, where are we?
Well, that first photo definitely answered my question about whether they've started on the new arm off that roundabout.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah, the new road's been laid, yeah. There was a really good photo here too, that this is what I'm looking at here from the other angle. Hang on, let's go do a message quickly.
Probably 4157 when you're ready for it, Stephanie.
Say that again, sorry.
4157 is a reverse shot.
Lit. Cool, yep, that's the shot. Okay, so just on a sideline, I think they've got the crane hooked up on here just to immobilize the main block so it doesn't swing around in the wind.
Probably helps
Well,
keep things under tension as well, doesn't it?
yeah, I know. I made the comment that I thought it was also with the with the long boom keeping it static. But I did hear one comment that Alex made that is also the reason is that you can't, without putting a lot of weight on the hook, you can't take the hook all the way up because the weight of your lift cable from the top all the way back to the winch can actually be heavier than what the block weighs. So you can't get the hook to come back down. So this is a way of keeping it from going backwards.
Oh, so every time without a load, every time they want to lift the block up, they've got to put some kind of load on it.
Yeah, with the CC 8800, we saw it all the time because they had that big block of counterweights that they would hang from the hook instead of having because you couldn't put enough cheek weight on the actual block itself. So that was just a way of putting that extra ballast to make sure that there was enough weight for the block to come down instead of and keeping tension on the winch.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, that makes, because that would, I mean, it's not similar. I've had a situation abseiling where the rope was so long that the rope pulled on the brake. You had to actually lift the rope up to release the brake. It was a 150-meter pitch, which is what's that? A lot of rope anyway. So yeah, the basic square shape of the towers here, and then they got the two sort of triangle wings on the side. So the only question here is whether they're going to have some kind of posts in between the current top of the tower and this new roof, so there's some kind of gap, or this just sits directly on top of the tower. I'm guessing it's going to sit above it a little bit on posts. I'm guessing these bars are to go in here, and I guess there'd be some other length of these bars to go in here. Finish that off. And then another bar through here, which may be even one of those, I would suspect, to go in there. And then the other one of those to go over here. Fill in. And the roof section we saw, oh, there it is. One of the sections is there, perhaps, is the roof part for here.
Yeah, and the rest are all stacked up just above it next to the white tent. You can see all the other roof claddings. I'm still no, not those. I think some have thought this. I think those might be vertical panels to cover the front faces. I think the over on the right hand side, I think it's the plate steel that is the rest of the top roof.
All this.
Yeah.
Without the I-beam, so it would just be one layer instead of two.
Yeah, I think those ones with the I-beams, initially, I think last week I thought that those I-beam ones would be related to the actual top roof, because I personally didn't necessarily think they were gonna put a wall cladding on any of it, but those other ones with the I-beams are maybe suggesting they are.
Up
Yeah, it
on
looks
top of
like
the tower. Sorry, can we go ahead?
it looks like the tower is just a diamond. And they're copying the same pattern, or
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
shape. That shape, yeah.
yeah.
So these in here might be to do with the frame is going to be about those panels long, BJ, and then maybe these are something to do with attaching those panels we see on that face and
well,
that face.
those don't extend past the beam, so I think those are just webbing gussets. I don't think they're attachment points like some think they are. Um,
Okay. Just for
Yeah, that's
strengthening the I-beam, basically.
yeah, they
because
don't
that
stick
that's
out. They don't stick out like the rest of the cladding mounts do on the up the height of the tower.
because that, yeah, that's something I was getting a bit stuck on. Is how do you actually go about attaching anything to those?
Yeah,
I couldn't quite figure that out.
Add these. Add these things. So basically another one of these. So that height, this height, then another one up here. And maybe
Looking that
cladding
way.
here and here. Or maybe the cladding's only for this level and, I don't know, cladding plus up here as well.
Can you zoom in on that beam where your hand is?
See,
I
last week
was
we did that as
wondering,
well.
part of them are web attachments that are on the beams, and then the intermediaries might be attachment points for cladding going up versus down.
You think they're going to clad it higher, Phil?
But that up, once you put that other layer on top of that and say, let's just call it 10 feet up higher, and then you'll clad between the two upper pieces, not necessarily the one that at the level we see right now.
Oh, they're not in here on this photo.
They're
They're on
not
the other
there on
side.
that one,
Okay.
so that blows that theory.
No, this
that
was
was
last
last
week.
week's. Yeah, but we didn't get a good view. I was hoping last week we would have gotten it straight down there to show that they don't sit proud of the beam. So there's no way to attach. There's no way to bolt cladding to them or any of that. And if you put a cladding against it, you can't even weld to it. Really, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
the support beams might have enough thickness that you could get in there and weld to it as well, but I don't think you would need to.
The beams around the back have those overhang brackets, but not the front ones.
Would they be able to hang the cladding off the top beams to give that area some protection?
And they've only got to put these things on, don't they? These brackets here somewhere.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, if it, because those beams are sitting on their side and they can go straight to the flange.
Yeah,
These other ones, if you were going to do that same thing, you would have just done those web extensions and would have made them sit proud of the beam when you
sure.
did in the first place. It doesn't make sense to make them not proud and be an attachment point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get your welding up past the flange, the bottom flange.
Yeah. Yeah, good. We'll keep an eye on that, that's for sure. My phone thought I was Gemini thought I was asking a question just then. I'm not sure how that happened. The phones listen to us. Do 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 do. It's a conspiracy, I'm telling you. Alrighty, that's awesome development on that. So there's some kind of rip
Did
going on
you
up top.
or did you see they got some more of the gusset plates right by the tower base as well?
Hmm.
Um,
Down here. Yeah, that's
oh, you did.
down here. Yeah. I couldn't quite make that out on the low res this morning.
Yeah, those look like some kind of gussets for the back corner post or something like that. So that back one almost looks like it. There's the one in the top left looks like it's got a notch for around some of those things that are at at the legs.
Like there.
Yeah.
Oh, sort of like that. There's a few things with notches in it, yeah.
I was trying to envision in my head where some of those would go up there, somewhere in the back, farther.
All right, it's major development. They've got the clamp arms open again this week. And what? Oh, yeah. Oh, that was Florida.
Um,
I was going to say, go on.
That's what those things are.
yeah, I was about to say the little shields
Covers,
on
yeah.
on the arms.
And we've seen those over by the inventory tent. We've seen those. Well, we saw
Hmm.
them more recently sitting next to the trench, but yeah, they're like little secondary doors for over the actual ball mounts. Looks like.
Yeah, I saw them the other day sitting over by that tent, and a while ago they were sitting by the inventory tent as well, and I could
Yeah.
never figure out exactly what they were for. But yeah,
So
it makes sense now.
they'd be housing the beaks, the beak clamps.
Pretty much.
Are they static or are they hooked to the linkages, do you think?
I think
I would,
they'd be static.
Yeah.
It's getting close to the booster there, the edge of the booster, isn't it?
Just when you
The
think they
booster.
were done.
I know, right? Geez, the booster's got no choice but to go exactly down on the right spot here. Cool.
I guess that's what was being lifted into the OLM the other night. There was people in chat were trying to speculate about what they were, and yeah, I guess it was these.
Yep. I just while we're here, they have cleaned up a fair bit of stuff off the plate this week too, but most of the scaffolding is still up here for now, at least around the edge. So I guess they'll probably leave that around the edge for a while, like they used to do on OLM1 as just as like safety rails.
And then look at the BQD hoods, Stephanie. Look what's missing in the front of them.
Reflectors.
goodbye,
Yep.
reflectors.
What? Isn't that
Yeah.
them there?
No, those are the sensors. The
Yeah, those were the
proximity
sensors. Yeah.
sensors.
Yep. The reflectors were on the bar that was above the door itself, off the front of it.
Oh, I see. These down here, I'll get a better shot. Not that one. That one. Oh, they're the reflectors, and they're the sensors, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so the reflectors down there have gone.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think somebody a week or two, it was in one of the chats. I don't think it was necessarily in ours. Talking about how those plates were probably there as just stand-in so that they could like just test that the sensor systems were working before an actual booster is there that reflects back to the sensors.
Oh, okay, yeah, and the sensors stay there forever.
Well, or
So
at least for some initial stacking, just to confirm that things are lined up. I doubt they'll survive a launch.
that was my very next question, was would they survive a launch? So yeah, fair enough, yeah, not permanent for now. Cool. Alrighty, oakley dokley. That's some kind of pattern on them, is that just some kind of shadowing?
I think it's because they're slightly like curved. They're
Yeah, let me see if I can find a picture from when they were over in the inventory lab. But yeah, they have a curved shape to them. That's why I was thinking that they're not static and that they actually rotate down, that they rotate to cover up the ball mount even.
It made
Yeah,
it
I
curve out of steel
imagine
plate.
but them being moving too, not static myself, to be honest. So actually attached to the arms, not attached to the linkages on the doors though. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
both. Hmm. It'd be good. Can't wait to see the high res of these. We'll get a good idea when we get the high res on a sunny day. That'll be a good photo right there. Okay. Oh, yeah, those reflectors are gone. So, yeah, considering the weather today, we're sure we're feeling very fortunate we got these images at all today. So, 10 out of 10 for RGV for getting these images.
Must be
And
close
heaps
to
of
testing that top deck, surely.
yeah, that's the word around all the chats are like, it can't be too long. Um, like the scaffolding could still would the scaffolding be okay to stay there for that test?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah.
Jesus, these are they're fairly decent blast walls. I wonder if the tower. I'm wondering if it's just for the ship. Like does the ship because it's got to do its flip? Does it do its flip above the tower somehow close enough that it's going to affect the top of the tower, or whether it's just to do with longevity and endurance in general for just launches in general? And by the time it gets here, it's starting to pitch
You
over. Maybe the plume gets closer to the top.
those panels sitting by the tower base, are they for the top of the tower, or are they for covering the deluge pipework on the side of the flame trench?
Hey, that's a good thought. Let me see. So the walls, this is pretty narrow here. So,
I don't see two that are narrower for the return, but that's a good point. Could be.
Just weld them into the embed plate in the ground?
yeah. Well, they've done that before.
Yeah.
There's a few parts around. I wouldn't rule that out necessarily at the moment. Oh, look at what they're drawing. They've drawn the lines for the SPMTs to go in at 45 or straight. Look at that. And there must be stop points too. Huh, that's
I'm not
interesting.
sure. I'm not sure that's not quite the right positioning, but it looks like it's related to it though.
Survey marks?
Because you can say those angled ones are outside of the legs. Those aren't on the right side of the legs for it to be the SPMTs themselves. It could be some reference to the SPMTs for sure.
Where's the little ones? Where's the 45? Oh, there's the 45. Is that one there? Is it one of the 45 ones?
Yep. You can see in the other one around the corner, the just to the top right of it is where the other one is on the left hand side with the left 45 at the top end of it. Right is yep, right there. That's the little plate for one of the legs.
Cool. Huh. So the hmm. So either way, the boosters looks like it's going to be on the end of an SPMT rather than in the middle of it nowadays. Well, I suppose that SPMT could go further under to put in the middle. That's I still don't quite understand the 45-degree situation.
Yeah, the only thing that makes sense to me would be is if instead of taking a booster and rotating it fully 90 to get out the door because of the fins, if they could put it on the stand 45 or something like that, that would let them still get out the door, but not have to be like parallel or not like parking straight into the trench.
I have to get out of the door of the Mega Bay one. Yeah, sure. So is the Giga Bay doors wider for that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So an interim solution for an interim problem. Not like we've seen that before at Starbase either. Man, that crane's a tall crane. They look good when they're set up with these really tall setups. Oh, so that's a separate counterweight tray. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
So the
one that
bottom.
they brought from that's the one they brought from Marvin.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Oh, it's been over there, separation unit. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet. That's got a few weights on it too. It weighs fairly heavy. So when they pick something, they can just let that go and pick something up, lift it up. How do they get it back down
They'll
from up
probably
high
have
again?
they'll probably have extra weight, some kind of weight that goes up with it that stays on the hook.
Okay.
Okay, I hate to be a party pooper, but I got to depart. I've got a live stream to get ready for. Catch you all later on.
Adios.
Okay, cool. All right. What else? What else? What else? Let me see. I know we've got to go to soon. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's just go over to pad one. So we'll come back to other things that we can find things to look at. Let me find the shot of it. This one? Yeah, this one will do. So they've added this roadway in, which is awesome. That'll help heaps with getting materials in. Doesn't look like it's open just yet. I think they're bringing, I saw a truck over here. There's a ramp over here as well. Let's try and find that shot. Yeah, over here. Yeah, they're bringing trucks at the moment are coming in here. Lots and lots and lots and lots of trucks are here in the chats. And you think they'd get rid of this wall, wouldn't you? Maybe that wall will go soon. Oh, they're still building up this bit of roadway. Now, let me see it in the flats. Oh, here we go. Okay, thanks, BJ.
You're welcome.
Oh, I see. Wow, they are rather bent and text. Oh, and they're like a hood, a full-on hood. Is
Yeah,
that
they're like
right?
little
It's like,
baby hoods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wow.
good spotting.
Oh, good luck rendering that. What's with the texture on it? I wonder. Like that's
Hard
not
facing
just.
welding, maybe?
Yeah, it almost feels like it's there's just the weld seams of the contoured pieces because it's got those kind of rounded contours on both edges. It's probably a bunch of small pieces that are put together instead of being form bent as one.
Yeah, like welded C channel or something. And like little individual pieces to form a hood. Crazy.
Well, there you go. Things you see lying around that you don't notice or don't understand what they are when you see them. Yeah, I think is that Crane Man? Who's that?
Kiwi.
No, let's see.
Oh, Crane Man, sorry.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's the reflectors.
Oh, that's where they were, the reflectors, yeah. They're the sensors, yeah. Cool, thank you. Okie dokie, okey dokey. Looks like they're, wow. If they brought all that dirt in, wow. Gee, they're flying ahead.
I
Wonder what the
guess
height difference is through here now. OJ?
I guess the not so unexpected thing is that they seem to be focusing mainly in the pad one area with all this dirt work at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether it's that or it's just going from one end doing stuff over here too. Maybe they're trying to set up a circuit even. I don't know. They've been using this entrance much for the trucks now since they've opened up. Looks like there've been a fair bit of traffic going through here. How about that gate? This gate looks like it's used a bit, but that looks like it's getting used quite a lot. Well, and then when they open this once they open this up, they'll be able to even easier to get in there. So which side of the road is on? Is on the pass side, there, the right hand side. So turn in's easy loaded. Coming out, you got to go around the outside. Outside, there you go, Indy. Around the outside. This is the geo mesh they're putting down. I see. That was what I was seeing in the low res.
Yep.
Okay. It almost looks like you can see it through the soil there.
Yeah, it almost
They're
looks like
bringing
it's
trucks
painted on.
dumping it, pushing it with the bulldozers. Oh, that's going to be covered in no time. By next week, that's going ahead really quickly.
And they're flattening it with a roller too. So yeah, it's pretty coming along quick.
It looks like in areas they're having to fill with this sandy product, which I saw last week they were dumping over the edge here, I guess. And then other places like up here, I guess that's higher ground there. They're not having to fill up in there. They're pushing all that soil back down here and then laying the geotext on that first level and then dumping this construction soil down on top to form up the grade. It's probably a bit below this grade because they've still got to add probably a gravel layer and obviously concrete on top. So it's probably maybe a couple of foot still lower than the final grade up here concrete. Oh, that's amazing. There's still sheet piles, yeah. I mean, yes, sheet piles. Um, they're still drilling piles here. Where's the pile driller? Is that
I
here?
I haven't seen that CFA drilling rig moving quite a while. Seems to
Yeah,
have been parked in the same spot for a long
Oh,
length of
it's over
time.
here doing tanks, is it?
yeah, they might have gone over to do footings for that fifth tank that's still at the port, or or the two at Massey's.
Yeah, or it's just parked here. So would it have time? So would it have had time? Oh, look at those sheet piles going in. Wow. Are they having trouble sinking them, are they? I was going to
They've
say, has it had time to put all the piles in for the flame trench? It probably has, hasn't it?
maybe also those sheep piles. I think they've all been driven all the way in since this flyover. They're all right down in the ground now.
In the last few hours?
Yeah, since earlier.
Okay. How do they, if the machine's wide, how do they get one to go, like, you know what I mean? How do they drive one?
It's perpendicular. It hammers
Oh, yeah,
perpendicular to
yeah.
the sheets.
Of course it is. Duh. That was silly. Edit that one. Just edit that one out, please, Indy.
You
So
got
is
it.
that the thing down here to keep them straight? Yeah, down the bottom there, I guess, to keep it all straight.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm imagining they're up to, just a guess here. They've done the sheet piles for the trench, the normal piles for the trench. They're sinking the sheet piles. Then they'll bring in the mixer machine to do some deep soil
Jet grouting.
jet grouting, yeah, and then they'll start excavating the trench while they start doing around the
Tiebacks.
outside stuff. Oh, tiebacks, yeah.
Yeah, sheet piles were 17 days ahead of schedule based off of pad 2, but of course there's a lot of extra ones that were already there from the existing that they had to consider, so they didn't have to drill all as many.
Okay, cool. That's a good. Oh, I'm glad you got that time. I don't have that timeline. I'm glad you got that timeline. I'll keep asking you about that.
Yeah, I've got start dates. I didn't log any of the end times on any of those milestones. So I'm not sure how much faster. I mean, the piles you can't really use as a good apples to apples, anyways, because of the pre-existing ones.
Yeah. Actually, that looks like it's hard to tell. There's a bit of an up ramp here. Looking kind of, yeah, they're definitely up close to where they need to be. Ready for a couple of another layer of gravel or whatever and a layer of concrete on top for that area. I'm guessing the bulldozers have a GPS on them to give the grade, don't they, these days? It's all automatic with the height. Fairly straightforward earthwork sort of job once again. Nothing new. What's going on down here? They're not wick drones or anything, because we haven't seen that happen. They seem regularly spaced. Ah, hang on, it's something to do with the
it's the ra-
geotext.
yeah, it's the wrapping that kept them together because they're sitting at the end at the fresh edges of each one.
They just bury the rubbish, yeah? Cool. What else? Awesome. Wow, geez, that's going ahead nicely. Not that tower. This tower. Putting road base on for the trucks. Battering the edges.
Yeah, you can kind of see, but you can actually see, assume based off of the truck directions here that it looks like the incoming trucks are coming in through D4 and the outgoing trucks are heading out D2. And then in that preview, when we were looking at that other one, you could kind of see the dark tracks that we're going through, so you could tell that they weren't all coming in and out the same direction.
Yeah, through here, yeah.
Yeah, so the empty one right there is heading that direction, and then the other ones, I'm assuming, are making the hard left turn around the wall.
Yeah. So just that whole area will get filled in. So that's the outer edge. To put the silt fence in through here, so that's all. So I understand this was a separate bit of paperwork, so that's obviously gone through as well. Get rid of that, all that, get rid of all. I can't really get rid of that. I suppose I don't know whether they can get rid of this building or not. I think a lot of, well, maybe I can get a lot of original powers in here, but maybe just for pad one, maybe they can get rid of all that. But there is a building here in the renders, so maybe that's part of the new job as well.
Just noticed in this picture too, the tank sleds for the last 3 tanks are sitting right there with the embeds.
Yeah. So 3 more tanks for you in here. Oof, it's gonna be a squeeze. They're still here. Dang it. We gotta wait for Marvin to come over and get reconfigured, I think, to move them, as far as I'm aware.
Your 3 more tanks might go in there instead of up next to the other ones.
No, yeah, I know that they've done all the prep work here and what have you. I mean, could, of course. That's obviously. Oh, gee, what are they going to do there? Like, if they put those big tanks in here, they're going to stick out to here somewhere.
I was going to say, are they going to put more tanks in there, or are they going to
They're the
leave a
same.
gap there?
Well, if they're the same size as the
Yeah,
LOX tanks and nitrogen tanks
yeah,
down there.
yeah. True. Yeah, you're right. They will just stick out there. Yeah. Geez, they almost look longer, don't they?
I wouldn't be surprised if one's methane and it gets added here, and that the 2 that are labeled as LOX tanks get put in down by the nitrogen tanks instead, where the old methane tanks currently are.
Oh no, well, the paint tools.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, they're the same size. Very good. Get off. Get away. They just look longer, maybe because they're new. Like I was assuming that'd bring them out here somewhere, but it's yeah, okay. That's yep. Actually looks like they'd even actually fit within inside that wall. But yeah, like I say, they could bring these sort of size tanks. I was also thinking they could bring these sort of size tanks into here as well. But that's still only interim too, because well, as far as I know. Um, um, so my thought there was that they're going to have the methane tanks. Where's an image? Over in that methane area, but in that wedge over there. But maybe the methane storage tanks they're going to use for actually launching may still end up actually in a tank farm and just the liquefaction plants over that side of the thing. Did any of that make sense? Like this might just be liquefaction and not storage, and then the actual tank farms may include methane in the actual tank farms. But you'd think they'd move all the methane over here, wouldn't you? Have I gone potatoey?
No, you're
Nope.
fine. Ickis is hot micing.
Cool. Cool.
Hey, Ickis, you might
Hey,
want to
yes.
mute your mic because you're hot micing my friend.
Well, we'll jump on you. Hey, I see a Stumpy. G'day, Stumpy. I haven't seen you for a little while again. Good to see ya.
Have you seen that white steel sitting in front of the pad one end of the tank farm as well? I noticed it in ground photos, and it seems to be a bit more up on the top right there. Yeah, what is that for? Does anyone know?
Hang on, let me find a closer image.
I think that's load spreaders for the tank removals.
Ah, that makes sense.
So
the
Gigi
side
points out that
spreader.
there's no methane tanks
ahead.
at Starbase.
So methane.
I don't know. Oh, sorry. Ha! Got it. I was like, wait a second. That doesn't make sense.
Tomatoes, whatever. I say methane, you say methane. We say herbs, you guys say herbs. That sounds weird.
Well, what happened to Alex? Because he says aluminium, but he says everything else like us.
I'm not sure. Oh, Alex hasn't been here the whole show.
No, did you just notice?
Yeah, no, I did notice. Yeah, no, I did notice earlier. I just forgot.
Yeah, I
That
was
was
going to say,
me.
he did say earlier he wouldn't be here tonight.
Yeah,
Here
I
we
think
go.
he's tired.
He did sound a little bit tired earlier. Yeah, that looks like a load spreader to me.
Yeah, there's a few more pieces. There's some of those pieces were here last week too, and they were right next to some other more obvious load spreader pieces. I'm maybe only 50-50 on those being load spreader. I wonder if they could even be for across the street, maybe.
What's still so hang on. A load spreader here, they're gonna need a cross one here, aren't they? And then a big long one for there, are they? Like a load spreader's gotta be that long?
It depends. I know when they installed them, they just used really long cables, and they didn't actually use load spreaders. But if they're going to
Oh,
try
yeah.
and use not have as long a cable, you'd need a load spreader. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, speaking of ASU, let's go over this wing to start with. Oh. So they buried all these conduits, they buried that trench. There was pop-ups where there's pop-ups here for, I guess, for the main water. For the main water in and out of the big water coolers, the intercoolers over near the compressors. Got some kind of water supply over here. Maybe there's a building going here. What's going on here? More trench work. There's still no definite indication whether that bunker's going to go. Or is there? Are they pop-ups? Looks like a fairly
Yeah.
busy spot too for a bunker to go to. They're still running conduits. Oh, they've got to have to join these in somewhere. They must join into those ones that are already buried. And there's a boatload of them going this way. Oh, they'll probably go into that bunker, yeah, into those vaults probably. They may already even be run across here. Okay, so yeah, bunkers still could go there, or still could go over here. Hard to tell still. Okay, the compressors.
Just come out.
Gonna mute that person for a little while.
Thank you.
I have the power. More. Still no drive shafts. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? Is this what Alex is talking about for the booster pumps?
Yep.
Booster compressors? So do they goes on there? Is there a drive shaft all the way through, or is this actually the booster turbines? I mean, compressors here.
No, I think those are somehow secondary. They don't go to any of the other stuff. All those pipes are just disconnected to the main compressor. I'm not exactly sure how those secondaries work, but they don't. I don't think they necessarily go straight into any of the primary systems.
Now, let's set step aside just for 15 seconds here. Okay, back. She's back. All right. So, not much plumbing going on, guys. What's happening here? Going on holidays or something, have you? Valentine's Day off.
Yeah, I feel like
Gee,
as
looks
fast as all this stuff went in, I feel like we're going to be waiting forever to see like the rest of the pipework process over here.
it's almost like they set those skids in the right place for plumbing just to go straight into bits and pieces, doesn't it? Funny that. Guess electrical. Have they put the? Oh, I haven't got the right angle. Have they put the? No, the platforms back on. Oh, they're still over here, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still stacked on the side.
Cool.
Probably waiting for them to get Marvin out of there, and then they'll just use the other crane for it.
It's a compact thing. It's pretty amazing, actually. It's a sort of neat little unit, really. I mean, once it's made, it's going to be sprawl, I guess, but this whole part of it's sort of nice little package. Not like it's their first radio show, is it? They've built quite a few of these things over the years. Not their first radio show. So Marvin's main boom's been disassembled, and they're disassembling the derrick now, using the A-frame as a sort of a crane for now to hold it up.
I suppose we'll be going to seeing the fun process of creating a dock again and spreading gravel all over the place, ready to move it back to the launch site.
Back over here again.
Yeah, I should imagine so.
Can they? Oh, so does that mean they've got to move this crane out of the way?
One, I'd actually be half curious if they're actually going to if they might actually disassemble it even further than that, because Hollow did tell us that the heel and the winches are being sent off for refurbishment now. So this crane may be out of commission for longer unless they get all those components as rentals as well.
The rumor I heard was the parts were coming for Buckner to put it back together on the other side so they can pull those tanks out of the tank farm.
Yeah.
All the
The only comment I have on that is that that news was before we also found out that the heel was being sent off. We knew that some parts were being brought in, but I'll be curious.
I'll also say that the heel is coming from Buckner again.
Yeah, all the SpaceX parts are going to get maintenance and repairs while they're bringing in Buckner parts, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, thanks, Indy, for putting that message to Ickes.
No worries. And I think Sean actually spoke to somebody from Buckner while he was down there, and they were saying that Buckner cranes something's happening with them. He wouldn't go into detail, the Buckner fellow, but he led Sean to believe that something big is coming or something's happening with the Buckner cranes soon.
Cool. Yeah, I see Sean. He gets the word on the street a bit. I've seen some of his videos. I've heard him talk in the backgrounds. That's interesting listening to him talking sometimes. Cool. Man, this place is going ahead quick. I mean, it's still going to take ages, obviously. There's so much more to build out in this new. I compared to pad 1, pad 2 even. There's quite a lot to be built out in this area. But there's heaps of stuff. There's heaps of stuff to get built out in here. Although I suppose it's just a pump farm, a water farm. I guess it's much the same. Couple of staging pads, bit of a water pond somewhere. The liquefaction plant's probably the biggest new thing compared to the old, right? When are we going to see above ground? Go back to above ground pipe racks for the main cryo runs now. They're not quite so squeezed in anymore over here, a bit like Florida. Okay, sorry.
How does a liquefaction plant work unless they're bringing natural gas in somewhere?
Well, they're bringing natural gas in from somewhere and liquefating it here.
Okay, but
Isn't
they're not going to.
that's
They're not going to truck natural gas in. It has to be piped in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that dovetails, was it liquid methane generation, and then the two liquefations are on either end of the launch site. Although that could have changed since those plans.
It's just
Where's
we
that point
won't see liquefaction until we see a pipeline come in. It was the point I'm getting at.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to miss your point there like that. Yes, we'll have to see a gas line. Apparently there's a gas line here somewhere, but maybe nowhere near big enough, or maybe not. Um, you know, commissioned still. Just find that image again. I thought there was just one gasification plant. I mean, liquefaction plant. I'm not going to find it in my.
Well,
my
well, it's also the processing. It's a twofold process too. I forget what they were called, but it was like bringing in the natural gas and then the refining of it to CH4 or whatever, and then the liquefaction. I don't think it was necessarily two parallel systems. It was two series systems.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the generation, but you would technically liquefy it and then purify it.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember which way around it was or what the terminology was on the site plan.
They could do either, I guess, in theory. You could purify then liquefy, but I would assume just based on the predication, it says CH4 versus LNG, that the CH4 is them making the methane they need for the rocket.
CH4, liquid CH4 generation. Oh, and there's the LNG liquefaction. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep, yep. I forgot about those points. Yep. So coming in gas, liquefaction, and then onto purification.
That's my guess.
And then I'm still thinking that maybe the methane farm, the actual methane storage tanks will still be in the tank farms rather than stored over here.
I'm still
Yes.
skeptical of them putting any sort of infrastructure like that in the rocket's return path or launch path, so I'm curious of what the plan there is. The idea of moving the tanks was in the original notice of saying they were going to move it to the south side. That's where that came from.
Okay. So what's in the path? So that's not in the path, that one.
Well, the liquefaction plants, if they move all the tanks to the generation area, that would be all in the pathway there.
Yeah, at least it's 2 or 3 times farther away than what the 2 big ones are right now without moving them.
How are they going to bring this booster in? They're going to come in this way? They're going to have to bring it in that way. Guess they can just come in
Carefully.
that way. Carefully.
Oh, you mean for landing, not for transport.
The landing, yeah. Oh, they come in this way anyway now, don't they? So they can still come in this way, sorry. Yeah, they'll just come in this way, yeah.
So Rex is wondering, will they need to liquefy the boiled off methane from launches and testing?
Well, they do a certain amount of that already. That's what. Where is that? Where's my pictures? Hang on. Oh, it's on my pictures. That's what, as far as I know, that's what this system over here is for already. To deal with waste, gaseous methane. And it used to be over over here. Now it's over here. So that bit hasn't changed. They've just upgraded it and modernized it.
Aren't the 2 tall tanks, 2 tall vertical tanks over by the pump farm kind of related to that too, but not necessarily, or are they just buffer tanks? I forget what Alex has said on those ones.
I thought it was like a two-phase thing now. So it goes to those tall tanks first for, I don't know, phase one, whatever he wants to call that. And then it goes to the secondary cycle
Okay.
based on
Is-
how the frost lines and how it vents and everything else is the predication on that.
Yeah, something like that. I still haven't put that link in yet.
To fully answer that question, they do vent methane. I'm sure people are probably offended by that, but they do vent methane. That does happen.
Yeah,
We
they're
knew that
allowed
though
to
because
vent
it's in the
something like
PEA. They're given an allotment of so much methane they can vent.
about
Right, but
4,000 tons or something silly too. It's quite a
yeah,
lot.
it's a lot. It's the point is the boil off does get vented. It doesn't all get recaptured. Is the point I was making there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I mean,
I'm
in
pretty
the
sure most of that
overall,
boil off is from the vehicle though, like out of the vents, not from the tank farm.
Right. Yeah, I don't think the tank farm at all vents. Well, I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't.
thank you, Zach.
It's weird that they need to do that though, because I mean they could just, if they really wanted to, all they would need is just a second the autogenous pressurization line, like put another one next to it and just return it back instead of venting, like pull it from the top of the tank. Theoretically, they could do that if they really wanted to. They're just kind of choosing not to.
You know, they could always do a B12 technique.
B12.
Light it on fire. When it came in, it was kind of lighting the
Oh yeah,
methane
yeah,
on
yeah.
fire.
Just flare it.
Flake UD.
It still is hilarious to me that they continue to say that the spin primes are all locks. It's like, come on, just like, we're not going to believe this. Can't gaslight us into believing this. You blew up Booster 7.
Alrighty.
Actually, now that I think about it, that's probably the single biggest methane release they do.
Yeah, it would be about right.
Did we solve the switch a pump, height a pump scenario going on here, or we still figuring that out?
Wait till next week. It'll be another one gone now that they've got this. They've got number 3 back.
They've been rubbing from Florida again, have they? Whole pump, whole motor. Did the motor leave too, or did the motor stay behind?
I don't think the drive motor left. I think it was just the pump that left.
I wonder what happened there. They had some cavitation issues again. Remember when they first commissioned Pad One's pump farm? They had terrible trouble with pumps for ages. Thought they
Yeah,
would have
but this
solved
was
all
only
that with
happened to that one pump, and the thought was it might be, well, my thought was that it might be an electrical thing, that they were testing their electrical, and it blew out the pump in the process.
Don't know if that'd be a thing, but it could have just been a faulty product too. That does happen. The electrics, well, they wouldn't go outside of the range of normal operation with the electrics. And electrics too, that's a pretty well-known industry too. That's
When they're dialing it in,
standard
though,
sort of
there's a
stuff.
possibility of that happening.
Maybe. Cool. All right. So that's a methane pump farm. What's going on over here? Just doing some fit out work, I guess.
Or just outdoor storage for the work going on just inside the door.
Yeah, yeah. So fit out. This is the stuff they're fitting out inside. Yeah.
Is that an awning? On the door, sorry.
Yeah, that's
The bottom one.
it's the blast awning over the top of the door of the door track.
The blast awning, that's what we're going with?
Yeah.
It's heavy duty. It's
Can be for just for rain. So yeah, blast. Everything works. Blast works at a launch site for sure.
It's the breakover blast awning. Is that
it's
what
a,
we're
it's
doing?
a it's a structural awning, not a decorative awning.
Industrial barn slider.
At least just lights, I guess. They're not going to put a veranda on here. A roof on here, are they? Nice outdoor eating area.
I've just got visions of that bottom door sliding open during the next launch.
Oh no. It's a big building just with 1, 2, 3 doors in it. I guess there's a door out the back too. I guess on the back balcony. The 2 escape doors if there happens to be a fire. All right, not that there'd be much to burn in there, to be honest. Concrete and steel.
I want to know what the deal is with them still not concreting that one little patch. Yeah.
They mightn't have finished with services in there yet.
That wouldn't be a new guard shack of some kind, would it?
Sort of on the wrong side, could be. I looked at Ali using this exit as an exit here. The right side of it was in Australia, but being America, I kind of need it over that side. Hang on, is that right? Oh. Hang on.
Well, the guard shack without it being in the center of the road, it's on the wrong side no matter where you are, because almost everybody, I guess, drives driver's sides to the same side of the center of the road.
Yeah, yeah. My brain did a little fart just then. spare pipes or some pipes to be able to. Oh, I wonder if those pipes are to do with. Can we see it on this image? Go that way a little bit. To do with. Where are they? These over here. Can we see them here? These over here. There's a couple of outlets along here. Hang on.
I would probably say they're for the other ones because it was something I just noticed is that it looks like those two, the original big horizontals, are also getting ready to go away because they've got scaffolding around the pedestals. It looks like those are being prepared for removal as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, perhaps. Where are they? They're just here somewhere. There's a couple of takeoff points here somewhere. Okay. So
That's something's changed there. I don't see them
yeah,
anymore.
unless it's just the wrong angle. Let me try a different angle.
Oh yeah, they're still there. It was just a bad angle.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
they
you
are.
can see
Yeah.
it.
So in that case, this pipe, all this comes out. None of this old system is needed anymore.
Yeah, they've only got. It looks like they've only got. They've still got parts of two of the new tanks to still connect into the sleds. So it's probably for those.
So these are still a fair way off commissioning. So I'm thinking there's enough methane, whatever, here for a launch even. I thought I saw a calculation that these two tanks were the same amount of methane as the original tank farm, even if they don't get these tanks set up for methane. All right, I'll start saying methane. Took me a while to say masses instead of maces. So we'll see how we go.
Geo has a question, more asking your opinion. All of your opinion. Geo's asking about the Mars mission. Surely SpaceX will still use the launch window just to test sending a few Starships to Mars to try and land them. What do you think?
Doesn't seem to be their priority anymore. Probably not in this for now. I think they're going to concentrate on lunar for a little while. Sure, maybe they'll send one or two. That's obviously a possibility. Personally, I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't see the next window or two being used. At least I think it's two or three at minimum down the road.
The main issue with that whole entire statement is the fact that not only like 2 hours later he made the comment of mission in 2031, which would mean they'd have to go 2028 and try 2026. I guess you can skip it and just do 28, but I don't know that anything has actually changed other than they want an IPO.
He tweeted about 8 minutes ago, actually.
Show us the tweet. I don't follow Elon. There's too much stuff in between Starship stuff to go through to find the Starship stuff.
It's in the chat room.
Yeah, wrong one here. Let's try that again. I clicked on his name. Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Yeah, I think the
What did you
narrative
say, Stephanie?
he takes it back. I think the narrative has always been they're going to Mars and it's just a timeline issue. But I don't The moon thing was never a thing other than the fact they're now pushing for it because of the current climate and they want an IPO. But I don't know that anything has ever changed. And it makes perfect sense for them to test out everything they can test as far as the vehicle side is, environmental, everything else going to the moon. But they can't test certain things literally going to the moon. They only can do that during Mars. So
Yeah, the only thing is that I read that not as it's going to happen in 5 years. It's going to be shifted to the right 5 years.
well, but Elon time. So you do too long of a time,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
reverse
So
it,
you
it's
get
back the
longer.
other way. So actually, that's only 1 year in Elon time. Where if it's too short of a time, then that you have to push that out like 3 times. So 6 weeks, that's actually 18 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. A little bit, vague. Cool. I hope that answers your question. Wouldn't mind seeing them at least throw a ship at Mars sooner rather than later.
I would love, they can't do it. I would love that their test article for the fuel transfer be the Mars ship because all you need is a little bit more. Well, you need to do it twice basically just to throw one at it and it would just impact Mars basically. But that test out a lot of other systems at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, just throw one at it. Yeah. It's fairly safe, benign sort of deal on that. It's not like it's gonna litter the joint necessarily. I can use the steel later on if they do want to clean up the mess. There's already a few things up there, man-made. Alrighty, so see some Movac trucks there. They're still cleaning up in the trench there. We covered the tower, the crane. Gee, that crane looks nice and tall. Man, it's tall. That front edge looks like it's ready for concrete. They're still tidying up this area a little bit, finishing off that little area that should be going under concrete soon. In fact, this whole front area, I reckon, in the next few weeks or so, that's all going to get nicely tidied up and cleared out. They're going to remove that building one day. I swear. I swear they're going to remove that building. Please. Tank farm, water farm, dirt work, lots and lots of dirt work. The batch plant here is not used just yet, but I guess it'll be used quite soon on the jet grouting. Tank farm, methane farm, tower. Did they move another arm? Was that arm open last week?
Yeah, they
Cleaning.
closed it back up after pile drilling was out of the way.
That's not in the way for the sheet pile though. Or maybe it will be. They'll go right up to here and then bring it out of the road to do the rest of them.
Yeah, probably.
New road, ASU unit, ASU site, sorry. Like saying ATM machine, isn't it? And that earthworks, geez, that's really impressive how they're going forward with that. So, any more questions or whatever going on in chat? I think we're pretty well finished our show and tell. Anyone have anything
No
else
questions
to
at the
add?
moment. Not yet.
We did notice that the original idea of having the LN2 tank for the ASU is now doubled itself. So I'm not sure what that's going on with it.
Oh, you mean at Masses, the second tank? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. We now have two of those. It was supposed to be just one tank. I don't know where the second one's going, if either one are going there, to be fair. So
Yeah, so in here, well, apparently it was going to go in these embeds in there. Let me just have a close. Have we got an angle on this shot? Is there actually two sets of embeds in there? Like maybe there's two sets of
Yeah,
embeds in there.
there's two sets, but they're not triangular embeds. I don't think those verticals are for the ASU.
that was the
Oh, there's a
vaporizers going in front. Yeah, it's a triangle.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No, then probably not for there then. Surely they didn't, mess up that order, did they? I mean,
The way that those two tanks, I mean, obviously the nitrogen one at the deluge also has all the brackets for having something at the top. It almost made me think to myself is like, oh, are these two for the to be similar to the pad 2 verticals for methane at the launch site.
Is that a triangle embed in there? No.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, okay, that one, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, these are for vapor. Oh, these are going to be vaporizers, I think Alex was saying.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
Okay, so is there not a second one in here?
Nope.
Yeah, I think that
Oh,
was the
sorry.
point. Yeah.
So I
Hence,
was confused though with the pad.
I
hence
forgot
the
about
issue
that.
of
I
having
forgot about
two.
those.
Oh, that's okay. I tricked BJ as well, so I don't feel so bad now. Unless there's another set of embeds somewhere around we haven't spotted or they've added or we did so we're pretty hard to hide them. We would have seen them somewhere else if they were somewhere else on there.
What's the spot on the other side of the lift? Is that an embed? Just right on the other side of the lift, up above it. That one. Is that a second triangle with two of them being underneath the lift? Or I haven't looked at that before.
I don't
There's
think
just
so. That
there's
looks
just the
like it's
three
underneath
there.
that. Yeah, that whatever that is looks like it's underneath that catwalk that's hanging off the side of the cold box. So I don't think that could be an embed, even if it wanted to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, the original diagram we had has been pretty much spot on, especially for this area. So there's only just the one tank that we know of, at least for that area.
Maybe there's another tank below set for somewhere else. Sure. Thank you.
Oh, I did post. Not that it matters. We can do this on Tuesday. I posted the images if people wanted to see them again for the apartment, so you don't have to scroll up 10 months.
In Patreon Lounge?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll have a quick look at it now. Oh, this is that corner over there. It has got balconies. That corner and this corner. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh, for some reason I always thought that that front left corner that we saw was actually like the other corner that we were looking down the long side. I didn't realize we were looking at the garage wall. We were looking from San Martin. For some reason I had in my head that we were looking from the other corner, like the launch site corner.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that answers that question. Thanks. Can we see that? Oh, I can see that. Oh, hang on. Where's the back corner? Oh, that's the back corner down there. It almost looks like that's an open balcony down there too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, in the third picture you can actually see people standing on said balcony.
Oh, because there's the other. Oh, because the other angle. Yeah. So Highway 4's over there, and the Zen Gardens over here.
Still wondering how we added a floor, but I guess that was just easy peasy.
Cool. Starbase West housing. Thank you. Might even use that again in you might even use that again on Tuesday anyway. Alrighty, awesome. So I think we're pretty well covered everything. I'm sure between now and whatever we'll find heaps of things we missed in show and tell like we always do. It's half the fun, apparently.
And we have a live stream tomorrow. Do you know if it's you or Zach?
It's me as far as I know.
All right, and that's 12 noon tomorrow. CST,
Yeah,
Central Time.
5 a.m. Australian time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Oh, sorry, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, sorry.
And then Matt was saying we may or may not, or RGV was saying, Mauricio was saying we may or may not have Tuesday expanded because he wasn't able to capture a lot of photos like he normally does. So just stay tuned for that. We'll see. I'm sure we'll have a final decision by tomorrow. So we'll let you guys know.
I think it'll go ahead. We usually find stuff to talk about for a couple of hours on Tuesday. We don't get to talk about on the show and tell. Although today's show and tell was fairly. We went down a fair few rabbit holes today, which was awesome. Love it when we go down rabbit holes. We had Weber earlier, didn't we? We seem to have lost Weber.
Yeah, he said he was getting. Oh no, never mind. That was Cumulus. It said he was getting ready for a live stream.
So, do you want to say goodbye to YouTube?
Yes,
And
let's say goodbye to YouTube. Thanks, YouTube, for hanging out. There's sort of 60 odd of yous over there. Good on yous. Once again, we appreciate your continuing support and your continued interest. So make sure you tell your friends, share the links, whatever how it goes, like, comment, share. And cool. We'll see you on Sunday.